So y'all already started rolling in. We're gonna be just a second. Just test to make sure everything good.
Okay, where's my phone? I'm here. shit. We're trying to leave it on road to see. I don't know where I left it. Oh shit. Oh man, it's like your.
You probably didn't have it here. You can probably.
No, I did bring it out. I did bring it. I took it out to take the card out so I could pay. I didn't mean to. I don't feel good. I'm dizzy. I don't feel good.
Hey, we can hear y'all.
I don't feel good.
What do you want me to do?
If you could go back so I could go see and lend me your phone so I could call myself. Or call me. I left it on the counter. I took it out to pay. Oh no, I left it. I don't feel good. I want to see. Like so dizzy.
Got the feeling about you.
Just checking in. We got about 5 minutes before we start. We're gonna give everybody a little minute to come in. Just checking in with y'all. What's going on? Y'all ready tonight? I see people came in here early. Y'all was ready. Let's turn them cameras on. I know y'all ain't scared. Everybody in and stripped down in their house gear. They got on their shower caps and their house shoes and robes. That's why we haven't had them cameras. Let's see these people. So you ready? That's what I'm talking about. If y'all ready, let me hear y'all put ready in the chat. You know, everybody ain't early, so we're gonna give the stragglers a little time to come on. You know, it's on time. And I see all these copper tone people. You already know what time we be on. So let's let them be on their own schedule. And we know how to usually get here. 10 minutes late is on time to them. So we'll get them about 5 or 10 minutes to roll in. Where's everybody from? Let's see y'all put y'all hometowns in the chat. Detroit, okay, who is that? I'm from Pontiac. So we got Houston. Who else we got in here? Arkansas, okay. Chicago, New Jersey. Who else we got? Florida, okay. I like Florida. I think that's probably gonna be my next home state. Maryland. I got a cat out in Maryland. I was just there. Milwaukee. I know a lot of people from Milwaukee. It seemed like Lane College must have recruited in Milwaukee. Did you go to Lane? Seattle. Okay. We got people from all over. He said no. Oh, yeah. Milwaukee was thick up in there. It's like Lane must have had a table in the city or something, getting them all down there. Say, look, y'all trying to go to school? Y'all trying to stay here? They're like, we trying to go to school. Okay, Greenville, Carolina. We got people still falling in. We're going to give them like 3 more minutes. Let people get in. We don't want them to miss this because we got an action pack for them. So if y'all got a little patience, let's give them 3 more minutes. NYC. Okay, I love New York. Only in the summertime, though. I ain't going up north in the winter. Y'all can have the winter. I don't want to see snow again. Kannapolis, North Carolina. Okay. I don't think I ever heard of that before. Okay, should we have our camera on? That's totally up to you. Yeah, I know if you didn't stripped home, you got your robe on and you got your shower cap on and everything, you probably don't want us to see you like that. So I understand if you like that, but we know it happens though, so you don't got to be shy. So it's up to you. Camera on, camera out. Where you from? Detroit. That's what I'm talking about. Michigan in the building. I think the most I seen was South Carolina or North Carolina and Michigan. That seem like the most. Yeah, I see a lot of North Carolina. Atlanta, Chi-Town. Okay, that's where my family from. Tennessee. Okay, Michigan in here. Michigan in here tough. That's what I like. Home state. Come show some love then. Oh, we got my guy Barry in here too. He gonna be back moderating. We have any issues, he gonna definitely make sure we get them straightened out. North Carolina. Dang, everybody must be in North Carolina then, huh? Virginia Beach, you got the whole East Coast. Who is this? Somebody got something to say. Was that Mike? He must be new. He got a special mic. His don't mute. Virginia Beach. I got a partner that was just out there in Virginia Beach. It seemed like North Carolina and Michigan is running in here. Y'all must have texted everybody y'all knew in each state. Who else we got in here? Where y'all from? I only see like 20 people that said where they stay that everybody else must be from nowhere. Oh, y'all out the country. Y'all don't think I would know where y'all from? Person that put Kannapolis in there, they wasn't scared. I never heard of Kannapolis before. They must be the king of their city. They're like, I'm putting it on the map. Kannapolis. Look, Michigan again. Atlanta. Miami. Dallas. Okay. Then we got, yeah, okay. We're about to get started right now. We didn't give people enough time. We don't care what time you're on. Right now, you're late. So one second, let me pull up my screen. And if y'all are ready to learn something, let me hear it. Let me hear it. Let me put ready in the chat. Because I promise I'm gonna clear up a lot of myths tonight. A lot of things you've been hearing online. I'm gonna give you the truth and I'm gonna back it up. Okay. Can y'all see my screen? Let me see somebody say, yeah. Let me get a yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, who, who is that? Hey.
Well, actually, it's not your screen. We're looking at you.
I mean, that ain't a bad sight, is it? Dang. Say,
No, it's not.
let me stop.
Are you, if you're the screen, then let's go.
Y'all got it now? Tell me the presentation up there.
We don't see the presentation. I don't.
You don't?
No, I'm your girl from Dallas.
It was up there. It was up there.
No,
Look
it
at,
was there.
oh, she trying to look at her. Don't trust people from Dallas. Y'all hear firsthand right here. They try to trick you up.
Okay.
But no, it's like,
All right, it's showing it now.
yeah.
You
I
know
might have
what?
to,
You know what? I might have to go to my laptop. I'm actually on my phone, so that might
Okay.
that
Well,
may
yeah.
be my issue. I'm sorry, everybody. So yeah,
If you want
I'm
to,
gonna
just
try.
check back and come back in. That probably might help you out.
Yeah, I'm gonna get out and go on my laptop. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, we give you 1 second to do that. Well, I'm Lawrence Hicks, of course, and my university I created, Financial Literacy University. I've always made my money doing this stuff off the line, but I've seen so many people online just giving all of this information out here. And do y'all mind muting for me? I think I got on mute all, but can I get y'all to mute? Let's make sure we got everybody. Yeah, okay. So yeah, basically all this information I was seeing online, I'm like, dang, that don't even make sense. People listening to that? Oh man. So I was like, you know what? At worst, let me just get online and just clear information up for people just because I know better and I don't want people wasting their time with misinformation. So that's my main goal, basically. So by the end of this webinar, you gonna know how to look for the incomplete information and the accuracies on a credit report. You're gonna be a credit report forensic scientist. You're gonna be able to go on a credit report and be like, dang, I ain't even never thought of that before. Your eyes gonna be clear. And then you also gonna learn how to create your letter and how to file your dispute. Step 1, step 2, step 3, in step. So you're not gonna be confused about what you do next, or hey, if they do this, if they do that, I got you. I'm gonna cover it all. And then, of course, people be like, oh, dang, what do I do after they say verified or if they respond this way? I'm going to cover the different responses you may get. And then, of course, how you need to respond to them in a systematic fashion. And this is just one person that came to me that needed help. She actually had a bankruptcy. And you see, she applied my method and she was able to get a bankruptcy removed. Ha, me. Well, of course, I've never really worked for anybody. I've never had a job. I've always worked for myself, basically. So I've had to figure these things out, in real time action. And so for the past 13 years, I've been doing this. I first started with the credit repair, and then I started with the business funding. And then once I seen how it helped me and I was helping my friends, I'm like, dang, I just want to help people like this the whole time. I come from basically feeling like I'm just going to be poor the rest of my life to really making sacrifices to get over that hump. And then all of the benefits was just like, man, damn, this is a different feelings. I'm like, I want everybody to feel like this, basically. This is a little interview I did on, I'm pretty sure y'all familiar with David Shan's, the Social Proof podcast. Went down there, we talked about a little suing, little thing. So feel free to check that episode out if y'all haven't. And just a little bit about me. I come from a big family. I'm from Pontiac, Michigan originally. So, people from Detroit, that's right around the corner, only about 20 minutes up the street. This is basically my immediate family, mama, daddy, all of my brothers. I come from a family of 8. And then, of course, now their families, my brother and his children, my sister, her children, my other brother and his children, they little significant others. So just I come from a huge family. So, a lot of people was poor. And, when you make it out, that's a lot of people that you got to help. So just letting you know, it's not just me. It's funny. Y'all remember Vocal? I think that was Nelly clothing line or something. I got a little Vocal sweater. That's funny. But yeah, this me, poor as hell. I remember I used to get kicked out of school for the rest of the year, every year from sixth grade all the way to 12th grade. So sixth grade, eighth grade, 10th grade, and 12th grade. I could never stay in school for 2 years straight. I always used to get kicked out. So I was just bad as hell, being a product of my environment, doing whatever. But the thing was, I was finishing my work and messing with people. I wasn't dumb and not doing my work. So it was like, all right, I'm done now. So getting kicked out, just a nuisance. This me 17, right before I got locked up. I actually turned 18 locked up. So started out getting in trouble. Like, wasn't nothing special. But and then once I got out, I was getting Division I letters, offers for basketball in 10th grade, but I was bad as hell. So I wasn't going to college. I went to jail. So it wasn't even no graduation. I actually didn't even finish high school because I'm locked up. So I got in trouble. It was a breaking and entering with intent, which I wasn't even there. I'm with some guys. It wasn't even me, but of course, you can't tell. So you're part of the crime. You're part of the crime. You got to do the time. So, get in trouble, do all of that stuff, get locked up. And then now when I get back out, I got to get back on the scene. So now I got to be resilient. Can you mute whoever that was? I think I need to. But yeah, so this is me, just resilient. I get back out right here. I went to the community college fresh out of jail, went up there, got them to give me a scholarship. And then that ended up turning to me being the captain of the basketball team, top 20 in the country in scoring. Then this right here in the middle, after that, I went to Lane College.
Everything.
Who is this? Let me see. Can we get you to mute yourself? Whoever that was. And then, so yeah, went to Lane, played college basketball. Again, that's where I got my bachelor's from. And then a funny story of resilience. The coach that recruited me to Lane got fired. So we all came on. This is funny. They singing to it. Let's try to rectify this. No.
Hey guys, can y'all go ahead and mute yourself because he's really trying to throw some nuggets with us.
Yeah, let me
Just
rectify
check
this.
yourself out.
This audio situation real quick. It seems to be interrupting us. Let me stop the share real quick and see who is our special
That's
guest.
Danielle.
Who is that?
Danielle.
Ah, got it. Thank you. I don't know why the mute all button don't work. Hold on, let me see. Where Barry at? Let me see.
You got it. She's out. I mean, we don't hear it no more.
Okay. All right. Okay. This was question. Okay. All right. Bye. So let's get back to it. We had our little intermission. Did y'all like that break? Hope her voice was nice. Say. So let's get back to it. All right. Okay, we back. So yeah, and then like I say, coach getting fired, just a test of resilience. I'm there on an athletic scholarship, just my way out the hood, basically. And so now we got 2 weeks before school starting again. I'm not going back to Lane. I either got to stay at home in the hood or try to figure something out. So I go up to Rochester College. They end up being a school right up the street. I try out for them. They give me a scholarship. We end up being the #1 school in the nation. I'm in Huntsville, Alabama. We actually lost to Oakwood. That's the college here in championship game. So this is me just going through after getting out of jail, renaming myself, getting back on course. Scholarship always. Graduate 3.77 GPA, back on course. This is me. After that, I graduated. I moved down here to Alabama. I had a -1,000 bank card. I'll never forget that. 550 credit score, 22 negative items. And all I wanted to do was just not be poor no more. I'm 26 years old. And I basically, I ain't been living life. I ain't even started. It's like I'm 15 right now. I don't got nothing to show for life right now instead of this rinky-dink ass bachelor's degree. And I don't want to work for nobody. So what the hell am I going to do? I started studying the wealthy. What do the wealthy do? I'm like, damn, if you can't make a lot of money right now, how do you get access to money to invest in yourself? I'm like, credit. So I said, all right, well, credit is the way. On my whole trip down to Alabama, I drove 10 hours studying, just getting the information. Finally, I got it and it started helping me. And here is my first experience where credit came to my aid, or it came to my aid because it helped me start my car dealership. But this is my apartment I was living in. As you see right here on the left, this gold car, this red car was actually two of my cars I had bought. I was selling while I was in grad school. So that's why I moved down here to Alabama in grad school. But you see right here on the right is my apartment. You see right here on the right with this area right on the ground? That was my apartment I lived in. Now down in the ground in rubble. I lost everything. Everything I brought from Michigan, everything I had accumulated here down in Alabama, we starting back from ground zero. But it was two things I did have, and it's two things I teach now, and I hold test wholeheartedly. I had great credit, and I had a jury policy. So the jury policy was about $18,000, which I had only invested maybe $5,000 or $6,000, $7,000 at the most. So it was an investment. Me having that file, I was able to use the jury policy, get them to cash it out. And then my great credit, I could go finance whatever, furniture, clothes, whatever, get approved for apartment, with everything. So I started realizing the benefits of credit immediately. And then I'll backtrack. When I first moved to Huntsville with that bad credit I showed you, this 550 credit score, and this is the same apartment I'm in, I was supposed to have an apartment paid for, furnished, everything when I came down here. Didn't know one soul, but I was just on a journey for a better life. Apartment didn't fall through. So now I'm homeless. I don't know nobody. I don't got nowhere to go in this new city. So now I go to this apartment. It's a $100 movie-in special. You're like, oh, $100? Yeah, I could do that. I get down there. They run my credit. It was like, oh, yeah, that's for people with qualified credit. You, my friend, you want to move in here? You got first month rent, last month rent, and security deposit. So that ended up being, it was $400 apartment. So that ended up being $1,000. Security deposit was $200. First month rent, last month rent, $400. So it's like, damn, bad credit took me from $100 to $1,000 immediately. So I'm like, all right, I ain't dealing with this shit no more. This is reconfirmation that I need to fix my credit. So now, fix the credit. I'm realizing everything. So I'm like, all right, you know what? What have you been doing to make money? Remember, I showed you the little cars right here. This is me grabbing cars, grabbing them at the apartment. I don't have an office. My office is my living room. I'm pulling people in my living room or having them wait outside while I'm doing the paperwork. But I'm not leveraging credit yet. But now, once I can leverage the credit, here's my car dealership selling my luxury cars. If you see right here, we got the BMW in the back, the Porsche Panamera, the Range Rover, BMWs, Audis, more Range Rovers, I sold the luxury cars. But I would never have been able to get to this point if I had never fixed my credit and started using it to leverage. So this was my first thing I did with my credit, my first 7-figure business. Our image not load up. Okay, we moved past that. That was just me and my team in front of one of the houses we built. And then now, was my second 7-figure business, still leveraging credit. And then I never knew that you could make 6 figures off of building a brand new house. I never heard anybody online talking about this, never, ever, until I started doing it. So yes, this is one house right here. We had built this for like 190-something thousand. We sold this house for 302. And then this house over here, we bought that land for about 65,000. And we were in this house for maybe about 290 something. And we sold this one for 402. We sold many houses, but these are just some examples. And of course, now that I'm making money, I can live the good life. This is out here me in Turks and Caicos. This was my Lamborghini right here I bought for myself in 2017 for my birthday. And then this Porsche was just one of my favorite. I really liked that Panamera. That was one of my cars. But, life is good now. I'm living all of the luxuries. I can travel. I can do all these things now just from leveraging credit. And then, of course, in my mentorship program, this is my students learning what I'm here to teach y'all here today. But you see them 7 days. So just more results. Again, him learning how to do the collections. And I hope y'all got y'all webinar bundle, because the collection letters in there for easy removal like this and the process is in that bundle. So please make sure you grab that bundle and get those collections off easily. And then again, same thing again. We got what we got. What do you say? 7 days here, 2 and 7, and then another in 12 days. Once you got the remedy, is rinse and repeat. And this student learned this in 2 weeks. Like, this is one of my mentees in the main program, but he came in, he learned, got to work. So now, basically, online, I hear people talking about credit repair, but then I hear hack this, Metro 2 this, do all this. So it's like, what is credit repair? Credit repair, according to the FCRA, is having something incomplete or inaccurate on your credit report that has not been verified. So now when you say that, you say, all right, I don't need a hack. I just need to know, how do I go to my credit report and spot these incompletes or inaccuracies? You say, all right, boom. All right, if I got that, that seems simple. But it's like, all right, now how do I dispute? Some people I've seen, they say, all right, well, I want to save you the cost of mailing, so you can just dispute through the CFPB. Do that, that save you cost of mailing. But here's the issue with that. In the FCRA, they say to file a dispute, you have to do a dispute directly with the credit reporting agencies to hold them liable. So that's the first thing I want y'all to take from this. You have to do a dispute directly with the credit reporting agency if you want to hold them liable in the event of a lawsuit. You can't do it through an intermediary, i.e. CFPB. That's not a direct dispute. So that's the first thing. Don't be cheap. Put the money in the mail, certified mailing, the first round. You need to do that. That's important. So now you say, all right, what is the proper way to spot violations? A lot of times I see people putting up third-party credit reports. Third party meaning like Credit Karma, Identity IQ, MySpico, all these other things, but you don't spot violations there. Why don't you spot violations there? Because in the event that you got to go to court or a lawsuit, they can easily say, oh, that's not our credit report. That's not the accurate information. Easily dismissible. You don't want to put yourself in that position where they can just easily say, oh, that ain't our information. And then here's a tidbit that I want you to research, because don't listen to me. Most credit reporting agencies that give you those 3 quarters, they only actually get it from one of the credit bureaus, actually not all 3. So that's why the information is always not the most accurate, and they try to minimize the information that they give you. So keep that in mind. And then another thing, do you want to sue on your own or hire an attorney? I will say this. A lot of people have been getting results suing on their own if they're just concerned about getting deletions. People have been successful doing that. But there are some people that are not as confident articulating themselves on the phone or email or something, where they may need an intermediary that can articulate better than them. Because you might be a person that says, all right, I'm confident in this, but I just don't know how to talk. But that hurts you in your case, because remember, you're the one speaking for yourself on the phone. And remember, you playing a dirty game. These companies can do right, but they don't care to do right. So that's why when they get on the phone, if they feel like you can't articulate yourself, you're like, oh, we got one. Let's play with them. You could have been right all the way up to that point. But when you get on the phone and they feel like they can play with you, I want you to guess what they're going to do. They're going to play with you. So that's just something to realize. So that's where an attorney comes in. You say, all right, I've been taught the right steps to take, how to spot the negatives. I know they're not treating me right. So now I can turn this over to an attorney and he can be confident. And then the best part about an attorney, you say, Lauren, I don't have the money to afford an attorney. Ha! In FCRA, that's attorney costs are included in a lawsuit when they are liable. So you don't even have to worry. The attorney will get paid from the credit reporting agency. How you like that? So don't let that stop you. Not having money for attorney should not stop you, because when they are wrong, they have to pay the attorney, not you. So that's something to keep in mind. My writing. The hacks. They say, why not Metro 2? I read this. Say, why not Metro 2 and the other hacks I hear about? Well, that is a great question. You sound like, who in here, let's see, let me buy a show. Who in here swear by Metro 2 and say that's the Holy Grail? Let me hear, put a 1 in there if you say Metro 2 is it, that's the Holy Grail. I know it works. I would just love to hear it, because I hear a lot of people that profess behind this, and I'm just like, why? It's like, so yeah, okay, so we got some people, okay. Why Metro 2 is not the way? Because while you can do any dispute and it may work, We want to do disputes that are repeatable, and then if they don't do what they're supposed to do, we can sue them for it. With Metro 2, you negate both of those. All you doing is trying to throw something at the wall and seeing what sticks. But remember, a lot of people have threw stuff at the wall and it stuck. So they're like, hey, that must work. But that's not repeatable. And you can't sue them. Metro 2 is the compliance procedure. Do you know what compliance is? In any company, compliance are internal metrics. So you can go to a company right now that has internal policies, but you can't sue them on their own internal policy because that's not the law. So Metro 2 is here, internal compliance. That's what the credit bureaus made for themselves to correct their own tests. Think about a company. Internal compliance is not the law. So if they violate their internal compliance, you can't go outside of that company and sue them. That's just internal. That's what Metro 2 is. It's internal. Metro 2 is not the law. It has nothing to do with the law. It's not FCRA. It is internal compliance made by the credit reporting agencies for their own standards. So that's why Metro 2 does not lead you down the road of having success. If you do a Metro dispute, it doesn't work. They're ignoring you. And I've also heard places where people are saying, oh, do 6, 7, 8 rounds. Whoa. So I'm thinking just on the average, 30 times 8, that's 8 months at least you're going to be disputing if you're doing this with this Metro 2 advice, just continue to dispute. It's like, what? That don't even make sense to me. But hey, I'm here. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just here to give you the message. That's why Metro 2 is not the best way, because it doesn't end in a solution to where you can get that item removed. You can bring them to the table to say, all right, here, this is what you did wrong, and this is against the law. So that's why we say no. And they say factual disputes. What is factual disputes? They say, all right, well, I found something that's not right, and I'm sending this in to factual disputed. I say whatever that is. I'm not even sure what that is. I don't see factual in the FCRA, so I wish I knew what factual disputing is, but I'm listening to out here all of the things that's out here and that's throwing people off. So it's like, all right, factual dispute. Well, the facts are what happened. So what is the factual dispute? I still don't know what that is yet, but this is one thing I say, look, no one knows what that is. Just someone coined the phrase just to sound like they knew something. And then this consumer law. Consumer law is not a letter with a bunch of laws on there that you just throw in there that you can't even defend in the event of a lawsuit. This is what consumer law is to people. They like, oh, yeah, I've been using consumer law. I got this letter. It got a bunch of laws in it. That's consumer law. I'm about to send it in. When you yourself can't even defend that law, that can't be consumer law. Here's the best part about it, though. That's not how lawyers even talk. If you see a lawyer, talk to a lawyer, they're not going to be sending and quoting a bunch of law. They are going to be able to articulate what happened to violate the law. So it's not about the law. It's like, hey, what did I do against the law? That's where we come in. So in step, if you just got a credit report or you see something negative, this is the absolute first thing I would do. I'll order my real credit report from either annualcreditreport.com, or if you're having trouble there, call the bureaus directly and just tell them to send it to you. Now, I will say, the annualcreditreport.com are the main ones you'll see, and their credit report will actually look different from the original credit or the credit reporting agency when they send it to you. Don't let that alarm you. You're looking for the exact same thing. It's the exact same process. It's nothing different. It's just they got it set up in a different way, but it's the exact same thing you need. So I had someone before, they were a little confused, like, oh, well, this credit report look different. How do I do this? You do it the exact same way. So keep that in mind. If you get one directly from the credit reporting agencies, it may look different than annual credit report, but it's the same process. So after you get the credit report, if you get it from annualcreditreport.com and they usually have it downloaded, you have a copy on your on your computer. So what you would need to do is just print out the pages that got negative items on it. You don't need to print out the whole credit report. Just the pages that have the negative items on there that you're going to go over. I'm going to say that again because I know a lot of people like, dang, this credit report got 90-something pages. No, you don't have to print all 90-something pages off. Just the ones with negative items only. That's it. So now, once you get them printed off with the negative items only, then you need to be looking for the negative accounts. 9 times out of 10, you'll see it say potentially negative or negative, and you determine what's negative. Either someone might say, oh, it's a bunch of late payments on here, or say, oh, it's a charge off, or it's a collection, or it's a bankruptcy, or something like that. And then keep in mind too, the collections are disputed differently than a regular account, a charge off or something. So that's something I want you to keep in mind. That's why that collection guide or that how to dispute got all the letters in the process for collections in there to simplify it. So please make sure you got that, because collections really aren't the hardest thing at all. It's like, hey, if you know what to say to them, boom, boom. So they'll say nothing but just understand the process, which is dialed out in that book. So just follow those steps and you definitely will be successful. And it's four different methods in there. So it's not just one thing. You say, oh no, this didn't work. We're giving you 4 different angles. So you good there. This is just for the accounts that aren't collection that may seem a little tougher. And so now you say, what are errors on the credit report? That's a good question. Let's see. We're gonna get to that, but it's another myth I really want to clear up, because I just had someone, I see it almost every day about, oh, they call it the secondary bureaus, which again, if you read the Fair Credit Reporting Act, they never say the B word, not one time. They never say bureau. They call them credit reporting agencies. And if you ever seen it, they say CRAs, credit reporting agencies. So that's the first thing. It's no such thing as a secondary bureau, because if you read in the FCRA, they don't use the word bureau once. So how can there be a second if there's no first? The only bureau is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB. But so remember that right there. It can't be a secondary bureau if there's no first bureau, because the word bureau is not even used when they talk about reporting agencies. So that's the first thing. Second thing, when you pull a credit report, that's only for a consumer's history as far as in the financial for credit, extension of credit. But did you know if you're a truck driver, you got a credit report that they will pull? Did you know for insurance, there's a credit report you pull? Did you know if you get evicted, there's a credit report you pull? Did you know for auto loans, they have reports for every different sector basically in life, and then that's what these other reporting agencies do. That's their only difference. They have a different function, whether it's LexisNexis, and then there's actually 3, but then there is another one that we want to pay attention to is Innovis. Innovis is actually another one of the reporting agencies like TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. So one thing I would like you to do is be aware of what's on your Innovis report too, because that's like a 4th one that a lot of people don't know, that they pulled that one as well. But freezing it won't do anything. I'm just making you aware of that as another agent that's up there with the big 3 that everyone's aware of. They're not aware Innovis is like close up there with credit reporting. So some agencies might report there. So be aware of that. And you can pull an Innovis report online. So that's the second thing. Next, I was just talking to someone and they say, you know what? All that does work. So I always tell people, when you hear somebody say this law, that law, or this works, that works, like it's some craziness out here about high utilization. Most craziest thing in the world. But hey, here's how you don't get deceived ever again. I want to solidify that here's the day where no one can ever deceive y'all online again. When someone says, hey, this works, hey, just ask them, hey, how does that play in court? Is there any case law to support that? If they can't answer those 2 questions, tell them get the, spar my friends, tell them get the fuck out of here. Tell them just get out of my face. If you can't tell me, because you got to remember, if it's the law, lawyers and judges determine the law in court. There's been a court case to say, hey, this is the law. They call it precedent. If you can't talk about this in court, if there's never been a court case to prove it, then it may not be a law that's on the books that you can use, because no one is in court talking about this. What? People just get violated all the time and never go to court for it? That doesn't make sense. So I want y'all to see right here, straight from the case, and I want you to go look this up, Hinkle versus Midland. What the credit, you see what it says right here, CRAs, they never say bureau, and if you listen to courts, they always call it the right name. So you say, all right, what do they do? You see, so this right here, I'm gonna read it. It say consumer states inaccurate information and claims. You see the C is in parentheses. Claims true identity fraud, account fraudulently open. Here's what here it go right here. Not my words. I'm just showing you. In this case, why would the credit reporting agencies go to court and tell the judge is a lie? They're telling you what they do when you file a dispute. The CRAs instructed Midland to verify name, address, social security number, dates, and balance. Please tell me, is this debate over with? No more about this freezing these secondary reporting agencies. You're going to tell me that has anything to do with credit repair because it doesn't. Here you go in court, Hinkle versus Midland. The CRAs, I read it again, instructed them to verify name, address, social security number, dates, and balance. This is what's going on when you dispute. This is what they ask the company for. They're not going to no other reporting agency asking them for any information to verify anything. They send this directly to the company and tell them to verify some basic information that's on your file. So you realize there's no investigation or any dispute really going on. So I'm showing you this so now you can be aware of when you send something in, what response you should get back from them if they truly did a proper investigation. Let's move on. We got another one. I want you to look this up. Cushman versus TransUnion, because they're like, oh, Lawrence, that's just that case. No, this is the case law. This is what they do when you file a dispute. They are telling you in court, on record, hey, this is what we do when someone disputes an account. They're not going to no reporting agency and asking to verify anything. So here we go again. And then this is going to go, and this is, I'm going to start down here and go up. You see if it say, if the completeness or accuracy of any item, the keyword is any item or of information contained in the file disputed by a consumer, and here what I told you earlier, if such dispute is directly conveyed to the consumer reporting agency, directly is the key word here, not a CFPB complaint, not through anyone else. So if someone's telling you that here is the case, the law, the first extent of the law, not my opinion, not what Lawrence says. Lawrence is showing you how the courts view these things and the law. So directly. So yeah, and it said consumer reporting agency shall within a reasonable period of time reinvestigate and record the current status of that information. That's going to come back into play soon. And it say after such reinvestigation, such information is found to be inaccurate or can no longer be verified. You see what that say? Shall promptly delete such information. That's our premise that we building on now. We know per the law that it says any item contained in the file, if disputed by the consumer and directly conveyed, that if it's found to be inaccurate, then they shall promptly delete it. So you can be confident in this, not because you heard Lawrence say it, some guy online, because Lawrence showed you the Cushman versus TransUnion case in the law that says this is how they view it. So I want to clear up all of that. So if you got somebody tell you, oh yeah, freezing them, tell them, hey, get the fuck out of my face, man. You don't know what you're talking about. Tell them doing this. Just give them that. But I quit. No more. But yeah, just because I'm just tired of all this misinformation out here, and people are sounding like they know something. I'm like, dog, you just had a job 3 years ago. You don't know anything. You haven't had enough experiences to know this, and you don't know how to get to the source. So here's the source. I want to teach y'all that tonight. The law. And again, let's go back up here. Let's go. Where are we looking at? Dang, I hate I got this. So look, I wonder if y'all can see this. I wish I could move this. Okay, well, let me go back, get in the head. So if you see this, I wish I had this better. It say upon investigation by re-verifying the identifying information. Re-verifying identifying information. So in this case, again, they're telling you when she filed her dispute, the credit reporting agency sent over to American Express and they asked them and Chase to verify the person's information, just like you just seen back here. Name, address, social security number, dates. This is all they're doing when you file a dispute if you come frivolous. So that's why we're going to teach you to file a dispute. If they try to do this, they're going to pay for it. So I just wanted to show you this here. The case law is what matters. And I always say it's two different things when you hear somebody say something. It's the interpretation and the implementation. So the first thing is, if you hear the law, you can interpret however you want to. So that's why the second question is, hey, how is this implemented? How it's implemented is in court with a decision that judges have all agreed to, and they use this for future reference. So now you use it that way. And so now, this is our big one right here. When you file a dispute, you hear a lot of people tell you, they say, oh, 1681 EB, that's the maximum possible action with reasonable procedures, right? We're gonna get to that later, how to activate that, what that really means, and how you really bring that in the law, because I'm gonna break it down for you step by step. But when you file a dispute and they are not investigating properly, they don't fix it and they don't remove it, then 1681I A1A. This is the law that they're under that says they need to investigate and fix it, or they need to remove it. And then, as you can see right here, it says, I'm gonna start right here. G, if the completeness and accuracy of any information contained in consumer's file at a consumer's report, and you see Consumer Reporting Agency, that's their name. Never credit. This is from the FCRA. They're never using the word borough, not one time. Credit Consumer Reporting Agency is disputed by the consumer, and the consumer notifies the agency. What does it say? Directly. So you must have some certified mailing showing that you sent it directly to them. That's your first piece of proof right there. You see it. If you feel confident, you say, you know what? Before I even start this, the first piece of proof I need to gather is the letter I sent them and me sending it certified mailing. So that's it right there. And so it says, once you notify the agency directly or indirectly through a reseller, you say, all right, Lawrence, you just said directly through the credit bureaus. What's a reseller? I'll be right back. Bow. If you look up the law, whenever you go, I like to use the Cornell law. And if you look up it, you'll see it's words that's going to be in blue. So you click on the words and it tell you what that definition means, how they mean it. So all I did was click on the word reseller. As you see, it was underlined there. And what does it say? The term reseller means a consumer reporting agency. So I only looked that up because, remember, I don't want to give you any misinformation. I want you to see where the source is, so it won't be Lawrence said. It'd be like, hey, look, he showed me. So let's go back. That's what reseller is just a consumer reporting agency. We got that clear, right? So, and then let me know. Am I going too fast? Is this good? Y'all still with me? Let me know. Do I need to slow down? Y'all with me? Let me get a 1 in there if we say everything good. Keep going. I'm learning something. Let's see. Is anybody learning anything? Am I wasting my time tonight? Just let me know. All right. I keep going. So now you see it's telling you the agency shall, free of charge, conduct a reasonable investigation, determine whether the dispute information is inaccurate, and the record of the current status of dispute information, or delete the item from the file in accordance with paragraph 5. And that's before the end of a 30-day period, beginning on the date of which the agency received the notice of dispute. That is a big thing I want to highlight too. A lot of times I hear people say, oh, I sent my letters off. It's been 30 days. No, you don't count 30 days when you send it off. The first thing you need to do is track the letter, because you remember you sent it certified, so you got tracking that you store safely in a safe place in a file you created in a little manila envelope with the name of that credit reporting agency on the top. So you just go right to that file, you open it up, you got the tracking in there, you track it, and you figure out when it got there. When you realize when it got there, remember, they got 3 to 5 days to process it, and you count 30 days from then. So a lot of people just go in and calculate 30 days. That's not the true 30 days because you don't know when they got it. And this has happened so many times. We'll go and track something when everybody knows the great USPS seems to deliver mail when they want to. Not even if you paid for a special time delivery, they still just drop it off when they want to. So we went and tracked packages, and USPS has not delivered these packages in 4 weeks. But imagine, this is almost 30 days. You're at home calculating 38 days and your letter has not even arrived yet.
No, I was trying to change the speaker. I just.
Excuse me. Can you go on mute, whoever that is? Let's see. I love this. It's like she's just come back for more. Hello? Yeah. That sounds like two people. They must got that Shannon Sharp phone. Just come on without you doing nothing. Say, no, I quit. Let me stop. Hey, can you mute yourself, please? Yeah, let me a brief intermission real quick. Let me see if I can. I got on mute. Oh, let me see. Give us one second real quick. Let's see. Is this on mute? Oh, and Zoom, you know that means everybody. Mute all. Let me see. Okay, yeah. Yes, it should be. We should be good now. Okay. We keep getting intermission. They must have sensed and y'all must need a water break. Y'all getting tired over there? Is that what it is? Let me know. Let me drop something in there if y'all learning something. Drop a fire in the chat if y'all learning anything. Am I wasting my time? It seems like some keep saying we need a water break or something. Okay, at least Cinco Smith is learning something. I'm glad. Either out of 1 in 100 people, at least one person is learning something. At least my time ain't wasted. There is a God. Thank you. All right, let's get back. So, we back in action. So now we covered this. You send it directly to the reporting agency, and you make sure you track it and figure out when it actually arrived, and understand they have 3 to 5 days to process it, and you count your 30 days from there. And then, of course, we went over reseller is just referring back to the credit reporting agency. And remember, if you're ever looking up those laws and you see a word in blue, feel free to click on it because it'll let you know the context that they're using it in. A lot of times, the word may mean something in their context, or they're telling you, hey, look, this is what we mean. So make sure you click on this definition. And so, here's an Identity IQ credit report. This is all they show you right here. But this is not even half of the information, because there's specific accounts. You're going to have account details, account history, balance history, and then payment history. These are standard sections on your credit report. But if you notice, there's no balance history here, and you rarely see the account history. It's just limited information. And then another thing that they always do, you see this right here, it says 2-year payment history. Mind you, you got an account that's older than 2 years, and all they're going to give you is 2 years history. What about all that other history? Y'all just ain't going to show it to me? There could be a lot of errors and inaccuracies in there, but remind you, the third party say, you know what? They don't need that. Just give them 2 years. So you limiting yourself on the access of information that you can find incomplete and inaccuracies by using this third party. Because as you see, they made it all cute for you. They got it all side by side. Like, oh, look, all them side by side. You could just look at it. Look, it looks nice. No, you don't want that. And then here, everybody, I hate how many people I talk to that just love Credit Karma. And Credit Karma is even worse, because you see I showed you what's on here. They're giving you, at least you can get an account number on here. Look at this. Can you find an account? Can y'all even find an account number on here? So imagine you trying to do a dispute with Credit Karma. You can't even get the account number for the dispute. So this is why this is an easy no-brainer. It's so much information that's missing here. This little cute synopsis ain't nothing. Like, come on now. So this is the main reason why we don't use these third parties, because there's just not enough information here to do anything. They really just playing with you. And so now let's get to the nitty-gritty. Look at a credit report and see what are the incompletes, what are the negatives. Here's TransUnion, and we're going to talk to TransUnion. They are notorious for a lot of things. The first thing you want to do when you're looking at a credit report, the absolute first thing, is go to the date open. So we got date open, 6/21/21. And something to keep in mind, when you see a date open, usually if the count is reported towards the middle of the month to the end of the month, then they may report it in the following month. So if you opened it, like you see this is open June 21, and you see the first month they're reporting is July, that's acceptable. So that's okay. But if you usually see it, if it's open like June 1st, 5th, or something like that, usually under the 10th or something, they usually report it in that same month that it was open. So that's something to be cognizant of when you're looking at this credit report. You say, all right, it was open in June. June ain't here. Are y'all playing? No, slow down, slow down, slow down. Just remember, it's the latter of the month, so they reported it the following month. So remember, now we being scientists. You see how our eyes are opening now? We actually see and know what we're looking for on this credit report, just looking on here, and we just all over the place. So that's the first thing. And then you want to go down, it says payment received. They got an amount here, but you will see, as I'm going to show you, a lot of times it'll say $0, but then you'll say it say the balance is zero. You see how it say this balance is zero? So it would have to have a payment received if the balance is zero. So that's the first thing you want to be able to make sure and say, all right, if you said I made a payment, what was the amount of the payment? It must reflect. And then we got the date updated here. The date updated is basically the last time that they were reporting on this account. So that's another thing you do. You go down to the credit report. So this is a matchup game usually. These are two different screens, two different pages, but I got them next side by side because this is what you do. When you see a date or a number or an amount, you see this right here. This is called the balance history along with the payment history because you can see where the balance went through history. Those things matter because you are supposed to be able to depict the clear picture of what you paid and when you paid it. So you matching up. You say, all right, payment received. They said it was when? 7/12. So I should be able to go down here and see 139 paid. But as you can see, there is no July. So we found our first incomplete. Where is July? They actually got July on the credit report, but got the nerve to not even have a July on here. So it's like, all right, y'all said July. So it say, all right, the last payment was made June 17th, 2022. Let's go over here to June 2022. It said the payment received was 139. They said it was in June 2022. Do y'all see payment of 139 in June? It says that they were 120 days late. You see it's down the bottom under rating. It says it's 120 days late. But look right here. It says the last payment was made in June of 2022. We're looking at June 2022, but it say you're 120 days late. Wouldn't you be mad if somebody just lied on you like that? Like that is inaccurate. So we see if it's missing, that's referring to incomplete. And we see if they're just telling a lie, it's inaccurate because you yourself know you paid it. They're saying you paid 139, but you go over here, there's no reflection of that payment. They just lying on you. So now we got another error. We going down and we're going to get into how you do the letter, how you be able to say it just specifically what it is, everything. We're going to get to that. Don't worry. I got you. So now you see it says paid close was 120 days late. It say, okay, all right. So in May, I was 120 days late. And in June, I was 120 days late. How could that be? It's almost impossible. Well, I say one could be true, but both can't be true. So we got to figure out, hey, which one is true? Was I 120 days late in May and June? Y'all just like to lie on me, don't y'all? We caught another thing that's inaccurate. This is not a correct credit reporting already. So you're getting into the nitty gritty. So you say, all right, cool. We still going down here. Date closed, July 2022. Y'all already know there's no July there. Where is July? It's not there. Where is it? It's not depicting the true story. And then you see, excuse me, I got the burps. The date paid 6/17 again. They keep saying that was the last payment made, and they say it was a date paid. But again, you say, hey, there's nothing showing I paid y'all $139, and I got a zero balance. So think about it now. You saying I got a zero balance on my credit report, but when you go in your payment history, it says you are 120 days late still. That's the last reporting that they made. You were 120 days late and you ain't pay them no money. Doesn't that make you look bad? Like, it's like, damn, what do you mean? It's inaccurate. You see this? And here's another thing too. This is a charged off account. You should not have a credit limit on a charge-off account. Now, they're listening. If you see this keyword right here, it says history. So understanding that reports report differently. So an Equifax report is not going to look like a TransUnion report, and an Experian report is not going to look like an Equifax or TransUnion. So you got to know the distinguish, because watch when I show you Experian report, they're going to have the histories in a different section. They're not going to conjoin it like this. So that's something to be aware of too. And then we come down here. The estimated month and year the item should be removed. They say, how would you even calculate this? How do you even know that? I'm going to tell you how. It's usually 7.5 years, but the half is already accounted for because the 6 months is usually the time it takes for it to go into a charged-off status. And then usually after a charged-off status is when you would try to calculate that 7 years from that month. So that's how we would be able to calculate it on our own. So if we were looking at this credit report right now, just looking at what they've given us, they're saying that in January 2022, it's 30 days late. It was okay. February, they say it was 30 days late, but it's only 28 days in February. We're going to get back to that later, but I don't know how you 30 days late. It was only 28 days in this month, but they got better math than me. I'm not a mathematician, but hey, we're going to get back to that. So again, you see how understanding what you're looking for is way different. Just looking at the credit report and you're just looking at dashes and blanks and numbers. You don't know what to do with them. It's like, hey, these people are really not even reporting right, but I never even knew from looking at my own credit report. So yeah, these are the things you're looking for when you pull up a credit report and you're looking for it. So, and then here's the thing too, the first day of delinquency. What was that? How would you yourself be able to calculate when this should fall off your credit report versus having to listen to them with this 129? Because if they're saying it comes off in January of 2029, 7 years from there, it says it went delinquent January of 2022. Let me know if y'all still with me. That's the 7-year math. January of 2022, 7 years on top of that would be January 2029. So you would say that would be the first date of delinquency. It would have had to be January 2022. Let's look for January 2022. It says you made a payment, everything was okay. So that can't be when the 7 years is. Let's see if it's February. They say February you was 30 days late, but it's only 28 days in February. So that can't make sense. It hasn't even been 30 days yet. So it's like, hey, when was the first day of delinquency? They don't know. So how would they give you an estimated date? These are things that you're looking for. These are things you want to be mindful of. And this is just a TransUnion report. The other reports look differently, and we're going to show you. Here's TransUnion again. They must have the correct information. This is for all credit reporting agencies. You see how this says phone number not available? That's no bueno. No. Why don't y'all got a phone number? Y'all supposed to have contact information for these people. Y'all gonna let them say anything about me and they can just not put a phone number? That's not okay, and I'm gonna say something about it. And you need to too. So that's the first thing right here. You see a phone number, or if you see the address ain't there, or if you look online, I see a lot of times too, they'll just give you the address and maybe leave the suite off, or they might have a different street or something. No, you need to have the correct contact information for your company on the credit report, or it's misleading and it's inaccurate. So pay attention to those things. Here again, you see again, this account says a zero balance, but what do you see? It says payment received, $0. I just told you about this, didn't I? They're going to say, hey, you got zero balance, but we ain't getting no money from you. Payment received $0. It's like, hey, how does that even make sense? The only way you get to zero is if I pay you something. Unless y'all held me down with a credit, thank you. But we know that's not the case. So this is what I want you to be mindful for. You see right here, while I was telling you charge-off account have a credit limit, look at this. $350. If this account is charged off, how can you have a credit limit? Can you go use that anywhere? No, you can't. So it's impossible for you to have a credit limit. Look, it's sold and it's charged off. I can't have a credit limit. This is inaccurate. But if you don't know that, you're just looking at the credit report and you just see that number in there, you're like, all right, yeah, I did have a 350 limit. Not on a charge-off account, you don't. So we got another thing that's inaccurate. Now we look again. They say this account was closed January 2020. What do we see right here? Let me move this. What do we see right here? Absolutely nothing. Did you notice? Let me go back. You see right here on this TransUnion report, you see these dashes and all these things missing. That's incomplete. Your scheduled payment, your amount paid, your past due, you see all this is missing. It's incomplete. So you see all these errors we've been finding on this credit report, but do you see this? So they're telling you this is what should be with an account. Let's go to this account. Do you see something that's a little different here? Did y'all notice there's no scheduled payment amount? There's no amount paid. There's no, what do they got? Just the rating? All they got is the rating there. Where is this other information? The balance, like where is this stuff at? Completely missing. This is incomplete. And then here, this is funny though. This is what's going to happen. You're going to call them out. You're going to circle all of this. You're going to tell them, hey, look, this is incomplete. It's missing. Where is this information at? Fix this or delete the account. This is what they're going to do. They're going to remove all of the fields and they're going to send you back this. They're going to say verified. They're going to say verified. They're going to do this. You're like, ha! I want you to laugh when you see this now. I know it frustrated you all the way up into this training, but now when you see it, I want you to laugh and be like, I got you. Thank you. Because all they did was make the report more incomplete. How do you remove that stuff? You can't get the real story if that stuff is missing, if I don't know what you paid, when you paid, or even if you paid. So watch out for that. And then something I want to tell you. This is TransUnion doing this. It's not the company. So this is why a lot of people say, hey, Lawrence, why do you sue the credit reporting agencies? Because they are the ones are supposed to do an investigation just like the furnisher, and they are the ones who's furnishing or publishing the credit report to people. So they have their own responsibility to you as a consumer. They can't just go in and do this because you called them out. So when you see this, already know this is incomplete. This is something that's going to further the lawsuit and is letting them know, hey, look, you made my report more incomplete by doing these things, but I want you to be aware of what it looks like and how they do it. Here we got an Experian report. And then let me go back. Let me go back real quick. Let's get to it. Is there any questions on the TransUnion report? Anybody got any questions on spotting errors on the TransUnion report? Is any questions? Let me have just, I can clear that up real quick before we go too far and you may forget it. You say going once, going twice. All right, we'll keep the bidding going. So, yes. You need to pull each reporting agency. Yes, you do.
I have a question.
All right. Who got that power like that? You got more power than me. You can unmute yourself. Go ahead, Neil.
Yes, this is great information. I just had a question regarding you said once it's the scenario you just gave when you said you said watch this, they would correct it and send it back to you. How often does that happen? Or is that a once in a blue moon occurrence?
TransUnion notorious for that. So you need to watch out for TransUnion doing that. That's why I'm letting you know. When they do that, don't feel frustrated. Just know all they're doing is digging themselves in a deeper hole.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right, that's all I had. Thanks.
Oh, yeah, no problem. All right, let's get back to it. So we got Experian. As you can see, the Experian credit report, it looks different. They got it set up in a different format. But that don't stop us from being able to spot the errors, does it? Nope. If I can just find my mouse. There we go. Yeah, so now we're looking at this Experian report. What do we see? First Premier, we see this got recent payment. They ain't even bothered to even report anything. They like, you know what? Forget it. Monthly payment. They was like, you know what? We just don't got time for that. Just forget it. This is incomplete. They need to tell you. And then also the terms. What were the terms? monthly, quarterly, annually, something. Tell us something. Like, this is accurate reporting with these things being there, because you got to remember, if you're a bank and you pull someone's credit report, all you have is this to go off of. You don't know them. You weren't there. So if this information is not there, it does not depict the correct picture. So that would be considered incomplete. That's an inaccurate account. So what's the first thing we do when we get on the credit report? Experian, we go to the date open. What's our date open? 1/19/2023. So we say, all right, 19th, we're going 2023. They reported in January. But then look what we see already. Look at that. Look where the error going. It say paid $0. They usually have the month outside of here that you paid to and the date. That's missing. So that's incomplete. But go over here. You see in payment history, you see how we jumping around, man. These are different pages usually. So when you see that it was open, you go there, open, but then you see a 0. He's like, all right, well, if they say 0, let me just go to my payment history. You go to payment history for January, and it's like, dang, hold on. That's a green check there. What? You're like, hold on. So I paid. They say I paid in the payment history, but in the balance history, they say I ain't sent them no money. Dang. That's inaccurate. You see how I say they just like, hey, so the next month, February, say February in 2023, they say another green check. You're doing a good job. You're making your payments, but dang, let them tell her you ain't pay nothing. It's still $0. So it's like, all right, how much did I pay and when did I pay? You are circling these things and making sure when you write your letter, you ask them these questions. It's like, hey, this is incomplete. You said I made a payment from January, February, March, and April for sure. There's green checks there, but it's zeros all the way up here. Do you see how they just throw something on your credit report? They know you haven't been taught how to read it, so they like, just throw it on there, man. Give it to them. Go ahead, give it to them. And this is exactly what they do. They just give it to you. So being aware of this, you can see, all right, you calling them out. Hey, look, I made a payment January, February, March, and April, but what was the amount? And you're saying like I didn't even pay you nothing, but you said I made a payment. What was the amount? These are the things and questions that you want to ask them in your dispute letter, and I'm going to show you how. And so this is just an example of Experian credit report, and this is how you would do it. The exact same thing. You're going down each block right here from the start. You're looking at the date open. You go over to the balance history and the payment history, and you're making sure it reflects there. You're making sure if they saying it's a green check, then they saying it's a payment. It must be a payment there. You're going over to the balance history, making sure it's a payment there. You just matching everything up and making sure everything is what they say it is, or it's incomplete or it's inaccurate. So now this is a quick lesson that I want to give you back from the TransUnion report that you need to watch out for too. Before you can be 30 days late, you know you actually have to miss 2 payments, not 1, because payment cycles don't run in 30 days. So if they say, so look at this prime example. They say April right here, a payment was made, but then in May, they say you immediately was 30 days late. But if y'all know how payment cycles work, it haven't been 30 days yet when you reported this. The month is not over.
It was drama up there. And the boy gave me my shit.
Give us 1 second.
He gave me my shit. I had to go back in there and pay him.
There we go. Simple and easy now. We don't even gotta ask him. So let's get back to it. All right. So yeah, back same thing. So remember, you need to know that 2 payments need to be missed at least for a 30-day payment to show up on a credit report. So now you're looking at this, you see a green check, then you see a 30-day, you're like, hold on, 30 days late? I can challenge them on this. This ain't what? Where's the proof that this was 30 days late? Show me when the last payment was made and when you say it wasn't a payment, because 30 days haven't even passed yet. So you can easily call this out and say, no, it's impossible for me to have been 30 days late. It's virtually impossible. You're going to get that overturned because you know how to spot it and get the evidence. So again, let's go down further. You see payment history guide. If you can see that down here at the bottom where my arrow is, it says charge off as September 2023 to February 2024. So now you go, You go to September, you say, all right, it say charge off in the payment history. Then you go, they already wasn't reporting anything here in the balance history. So you want to make sure what they're saying, because I've seen prime example where it'll tell you, hey, it was 120 days late as of August, but then you go up in August in the payment history and it's a green check there. It's always conflicting information. So you want to make sure everything you see on the credit report, you verify it yourself by going through the credit report in that section and finding it. So like prime example, again, for someone that says, what? Hold on, Lawrence, you're going too fast. Slow down. I'm like, all right. If you see that it says right here, April 2023, there was a payment made, then you say, all right, if I made a payment, the balance history is going to show when I made it and how much I made and what was the scheduled payment amount. So you mosey on over to the balance history and you say, all right, I see the balance, I see the scheduled payment, but I don't see what I paid and I don't see when I paid it. We see two things that's incomplete and it's missing. So now you say, all right, I know what's incomplete with this account and they must add that information or delete this account. And if they don't delete it, I got my leverage and I got my proof that shows that they did it. Here's an Equifax report. And as you can see, they all look differently. Equifax is the best. I like them because they give you so many opportunities to spot negatives. Like, do you see all of now imagine when I showed you those third-party credit reports, right? You've seen a little bit of information that they show, right? Imagine when you got all of this information to spot errors. You got way more leverage to spot errors and things that's incomplete to be able to get the account removed. The more errors you find, the more likely that they are going to remove the account and you have the leverage. So let's go through this Equifax report. As you can see, look at this. It says it was open January, or no, I say date of last payment, January 2023. We roll up here with a red arrow. That next month is February, but what's there? A green check. They just said the last payment was January 2023, but if you see that it says February was the last payment, it's like, all right, well, that's not the truth. That's inaccurate. You get your circle on and you make sure when you in your letter, you being detailed about it. Right here. If you see high credit should be reporting there. It's not there. It's missing. So what is that called? Incomplete. You're going to circle that and you write in your letter. The high credit is missing. Terms frequency. Why is it unknown? Why don't they know the terms? They should know this information if they're reporting. Act like, where'd y'all get this account from? Did y'all get it from the furnisher? You know what? Send a copy of my letter over to the furnisher and let them investigate and correct my report. We know they're not going to do this, but that's why you are being detailed in the letter to tell them exactly what was wrong and exactly what the issue is. So when they botch the investigation, you got proof. So then look right here. Actual payment amount. We know they say last payment was in January 2023. So now we go to the actual payment amount. There's nothing there. It's like, what? I made a payment, but y'all not reporting what it was. Can y'all tell me what that payment amount was? Because I know what I paid. It's missing. Boom. More incomplete. More things you circle. More items. Then we got date of last activity. What was the date of last activity? It's nothing here. And then let me clear up another myth too. There's something out here that always tell people, they say, hey, if there's a negative account on your credit report and it's been sitting there and then you dispute, they're like, oh no, that's going to restart the time. That's going to re-age it. That's not the truth. You can't restart when an account is going to be removed off your credit report by you trying to dispute it or you calling about something that's inaccurate. Remember again, when the account went negative and never recovered is when you start your 7 years from when it should be removed. Nothing can re-age that. After the account is negative, the time is started. It don't matter how many times you dispute that. So don't believe that about, oh, you just upped the day of last activity. Now I got to wait another 7 years. No, that is a myth. That's not the truth. So, and then you can always go down and see. If you believe that, remember when I showed you right here, it say the estimated month and year to be removed. If you believe that truly that you disputing or doing something, reages it, just go down here and look at the estimated month and year being removed. You're gonna see that date hasn't changed. So you'll see from your own eyes, no, it hasn't reaged because this date hasn't, they didn't extend it 7 more years out. So, or whatever from that date. So you'll be able to confirm yourself versus, oh, this guy told me this. It's like, no, I know how to go and see it myself. So just something to keep in mind. So now, and with Equifax, same thing. You see, all of these errors is here. All of this stuff is missing. Look, it's missing. What was the credit limit? But then you say, Lawrence, how you know it's missing? Because you see, it was there in that month. It was there in that month. It's like, oh, they skipped a few months. They was like, oh, we took off. We was on vacation. But when I came back, I got back to work. So he's like, all right, I put it in when I came back. They're like, sir, where is these months? Like, I don't know. Like, they're like, okay, you want to play with me, huh? And you see this, look, I tell you, Equifax give you plenty of opportunities. Stuff just, all you doing is highlighting, you say, look, they're playing with me. So when you're looking at these credit reports now, it's all of these things that's going on. You just got to be able to spot it. Remember, when we looked at the FCRA, they says 2 things going on in a credit report. They say if it's incomplete and inaccurate, and once you dispute, they got to verify what it is. And once they say once it's unverifiable, they must remove it. So once you dispute, you do all of this, and now you got them on the end to where they haven't done anything. The ball is in your court. But remember, I always ask people, where are you disputing properly? This is what I mean by disputing properly, finding the incompletes and the inaccuracies so you can back them in a corner with empirical evidence. Here are the common FCRA violations that's in play when you have to sue them. First one, I said I was going to get to this. 1681 EB, the accuracy of the credit report. A lot of people send out those consumer law letters with the 1681 in there, but here's what they don't tell you. The only way you can sue for a 1681 EB is if it was published to the public. So that means someone has to pull your credit to have an EB claim. If you were disputing and you never had anyone pull your credit during the dispute process, you don't have an EB claim. Yes, I said it. Yes, the only way to have an EB claim is if your credit was pulled after you disputed. So for a lot of people, I think a light bulb is going off. Like, oh, okay, so after I dispute the first time, I just need to get some denials to be able to open up my EB claim for damages. Yes. If you're thinking like that, I like the way you think. You're a smart person. I think you're ready for the next level. So yes, that's exactly it. After your first round dispute, once you get your results of investigation, remember you got 3 credit reporting agencies. You know what accounts reporting to those different agencies. Get some denials. Go ahead and get some denials because that's going to bring your damages claim in play when you talk about suing and seeking damages. You got these denials on your side after you dispute it. So that's what brings the EB claim in to give it power in the lawsuit. And remember, we went over 16.1I to A1A. That's the reinvestigation. So this would be the law also. If you got credit pulls and reinvestigation, you got these 2 in play. Oh, that's non-compliance. That's basically them just not listening to the FCRA saying, hey, look, this got to be verified to be incomplete, or this got to be verified to be complete or accurate. If it's not those, it's got to be off the credit report. If y'all don't do that, then it's negligence after a dispute. So this would be your law. And then the willful. That's when, like what TransUnion did by removing that payment history, that's considered willful because it's proven that they're intentionally just going beyond the scope of what needs to be done. And I always tell people, if you dispute up to that 3 times, that also brings a willful claim into play too, because it's showing that they're in their continual disregard. So all those laws you're hearing people say, oh, this is that, they're just making it sound good. No, this is what's going on. And then again, I seen a Instagram post the other day, and the guy told y'all that you could sue under S2A. And he quoted a case to go look up. It was actually, I believe it was Saunders and BB&T Branch. But if you went and read that case, they would have told you in the case that it was under S2B. So this person, I'll tell you, so much people are giving misinformation. I'm just like, whoa, like he gave y'all the case, but then gave you the wrong thing. So it shows you he didn't even know. So it was like, all right, boom. S2A says, hold on, one more again. Hold on. Let's see what we got. All right. Get them out. All right, we back. So yeah. S2B is the law for the furnishers because remember, this inaccurate information, the furnishers have the duty of making sure it's reporting and the credit reporting agency. So now, once you dispute directly through the credit reporting agencies, S2B comes into play to where now you can shift the liability to the furnisher. So now we got the credit reporting agencies on the hook and we got the furnishers on the hook now from learning how to spot the incompletes and inaccuracies per the FCRA, which binds them to all of this. You see how all this is coming into full fold now? So yes, that would be S2B to sue the furnishers. And then a side note, a lot of people with the furnishers want to sue, but I'll tell you this. Mostly all the arbitration claims I've ever read usually says that they want to arbitrate first before a lawsuit. So I always like to just get the arbitration agreement and talk to them about arbitration because really that's where they want to go with it anyway. And if you ever sued by a furnisher, you just go to the arbitration agreement and remind them of what their own arbitration agreement says. Let's deal it with an arbitrator, not in the court of law. So that's something to keep in mind. And so, yes, damages. Remember I was talking to you about credit pulls and being denied? And remember, I told you, I don't want to give you my opinion. I'm giving you case law, what happens in court. It says, we must decline the award summary judgment in TransUnion's favor on the grounds that Ms. Cushman has failed to raise a material issue fact regarding damages. Remember we talked about damages stuff. It contends that the entitled summary judgment since Ms. Cushman was never denied credit. Ha! Remember I told you how to get the denials, right? Here's the case law telling you they didn't even want to look at her damages claim, talking about EB, because she never got her credit report pulled. So I know y'all thought, oh, this guy just telling me something. He want me to do this. No, I'm telling you what's in black and white in the law. This is how the courts look at it. So keep in mind, remember, after that first dispute, you want to get your denials because this brings and supports your damages claim. And here's the proof right here. So again, this is just breaking down and letting you be able to read what the definitions are. And you can go find them and pull this up. I copied and pasted straight from the law. I didn't take time to put my opinion in here. So this is exactly what it is. 1681E, that's the compliance procedures and the accuracy, but that's under the subcategory 1681I. So this is 5, and this is the E is the EB, the compliance. So this is basically saying accuracy of the credit report. Whenever they prepare a consumer credit report, they got to follow reasonable procedures of maximum possible accuracy. That's all 1681EB is. Reasonable procedures. But how do you pull them out? You got to be able to highlight the scenario that says that they don't have reasonable procedures, i.e. disputing when you got the incompletes and inaccuracies and then they still don't fix them. And it's like, if y'all got reasonable procedures in place, then y'all would have discovered this before I looked at my credit report. So you got proof. Here's more results again. Get to the point to suing my guy Jarius, say, look, I got him. Now we to the dispute letter. This is my own dispute letter I created. And a lot of people like to talk about the biographical information, name, date, social security, all that other stuff. Here's the truth. That's reported from an account reporting a credit report, and they're usually not going to delete it if it's connected to that account. There's other ways to go around and get it deleted, but I always say you should have one address with all of the people, so it can only be one address on your credit report. So with this letter, we're going to simply put in here and let them know, hey, look, as you can see, please ensure that the only following personal information which is accurate and retaining your records, all the data must promptly be deleted. So in this letter, we're going to clear up that biographical information, that part first. You're going to put what your one address, social security, all the one thing that's supposed to be in your credit report right here where I got it in bold, and that's letting the credit report agencies know everything else must be deleted. This is my only accurate address, and you're going to send in supporting documents. So if you're someone that moved out of state or you're moved to a different address, and your license or driver's license or ID is still reflecting the old address, I would recommend going and get it updated to your new address so it clearly separates you from that old address. You update everything, you get that one address, and you get everything else removed. That's how you do that. And then just going through this letter, I'm asking for a lot of things in this letter. So basically, we're gonna brush through it real quick. And of course, if you got the copy of the How to Dispute book, this letter is in there as well. So if you got that, you got a copy of this letter already. So don't feel like you don't have this. You do have this. So I put the dispute letters in there so they plug and play for you. All you got to do is fill in, like I say, your personal information, and then you go over here and you fill in the account information. You put the account name, the account number, the balance, the date open, and then you describe what's wrong. But here's my basic letter. Just ask him to fix the biographical information. We're going into specifics to tell him, hey, look, I don't want you to just play this like a regular dispute. I need you to send a copy over to the furnisher. Why are we asking for that? Because we are detailing our letter of what the inaccuracies are. So when we call them out on it, we got proof that we told them to share this with the furnisher. So it backs the credit reporting agency in the corner. It backs the furnisher in the corner because you got proof of what was inaccurate and you told them to show them. So can't nobody say I didn't know. Here's an example of how a letter looks filled out. So as you see, remember how you see on the sample, it says accounts and then it say describe what's wrong with each account. So as you see right here, I filled in the account name, filled in the account number, I filled in the balance, I filled in the date open, and then now I went through and I listed. So you see, you remember when we were looking at, let's go back. Wow. We'll say high credit. You see this is missing, but it's like, all right, how would you say that? Let's go back over to our letter and we just say it in detail. It say there's no balance reporting for the month of February of 2022 all the way until May of 2022. So when you look on that credit report and you see that gap right there, you specifically pinpointed where to go find that on the credit report and what exactly is wrong. And then you going into detail. There's no balance report for July, September, October, and December of 2022. It's clear what's wrong. You stated clearly what the issue was. And then you always ask them, hey, what was it? What were the balances for those months? This is how I like to end every error. Fix or delete the whole account. That's how you do. That's how we tell them every time because that's really what it is. And I know a lot of y'all are asking yourself over there, like, what do I do if they fix it? I've been doing this 13 years and I've never seen a 100% them fix it. So that's my answer to that. I've just never seen it. They usually mess it up more than fix it. So I wouldn't worry about that. So yeah, this is again another example. There is no scheduled payment being reported for February through May of 22. Being as detailed as possible. And then you say July, September, and December 2022, no scheduled payment amount. So you know exactly where to go on a credit report to find this information. You were detailed. There's no way that they can say, oh, we didn't know what they were talking about. And then this is just examples of how you say what the error is in a letter. And just go down. Like we seen the classification was unknown. You see what we say? Why is the creditor classification unknown? Please fix or delete. And I wonder, can y'all see me moving my mouse around and stuff? I'm asking late in the mug, but I just wonder, like, can y'all see me moving the mouse under this stuff? Let me know if y'all can see that real quick. Let me see, because yes, okay. Whew. I'm glad. I'm like, damn, this is kind of too late to be asking that, but I sure been putting my stuff on stuff. Okay. Yeah. So yes, that's basically, yeah, this is how you would do your letter. Just being as detailed, saying exactly what it is, letting them know where to go and find on the credit report. And you see this credit report, how it's marked up. Once you get a credit report marked, just make a copy of it. You're going to keep a copy for your records, and you can feel free to send a copy with your dispute letter to the credit reporting agency. It's not mandatory, but it helps your case because you got the hook, line, and sinker. If you want to send, but then it begins to be a lot more mail. Because you might have 40 pages of credit reports and you might have an 8-page letter that might make your packet a little thicker than just sending an 8-page letter. But you do have that option if you want to send them the credit report with the errors too. It just helps detail your case. And these are just samples of the negative accounts you see on that credit report and just writing it in the letter. And like I say, if you got that bundle, you got these letters. So it's just plug and play for you. And yeah, just examples of just how we writing it. And again, just explaining the O, which is right here. We talked about attorney fees. You see section B right here? Attorney fees on a finding of the court that an unsuccessful plea motion or other papers found in connection under this section is filed in bad faith, person harassed. The court shall award the prevailing party attorney fees. So you see, when you win, they got to pay for your attorney fees. You see that? So this is another. I didn't tell you that. I wanted to show you in the law. So don't worry, you covered. And then again, the willful noncompliance, just breaking it down, letting you know about the statutory damages. You get at least that 1,000. So when you hear people talk about statutory, that's the 100 to 1,000, and no more than 1,000. That's what statutory basically means as far as damages. Here's another thing that I see that a lot of people don't really do. I hear them saying they use FTC report, but a police report is a lot stronger. And so if someone is a victim of identity theft and truly is, a FTC report and a police report, and you list the accounts, 4 things: the name of the account, the date it was open, the balance, and the account number. Those 4 things: account number, the date it was open, the name of the account, and what the balance was. Those 4 things need to be in the police report. That gives you the strongest identity theft case. But here's what's so funny though. We aren't even going back and forth with the identity theft claim about multiple disputes. You dispute, they hit you with a verified, either sue them yourself. I like going with a lawyer because we got a case right now. They agreed to delete the account, but they came with a little bit of money. But since it was like, hold on, a little bit, it's like, all right, cool. We're going to get a lawyer. So we got the lawyer on them. Stay tuned. We're going to let you know how big that check was. So stay tuned. So this is what I want to let you know. If you're a victim of identity theft, y'all got this. Don't worry. You dispute it like this. And if they come back with that verified, go to the lawsuit step. Don't even worry about keeping dispute. You're wasting your time. They get one time to play with you like that with this. Star tactic letter. Oh, yeah. Let's say they send you some crap like this. I know y'all have seen this before. You know what we do? We just sue them. A1A. 1681I, the A1A. Wow. It's a lawsuit. The reinvestigation. You think you're going to send me this? Lawsuit. So star tactic letters, people telling you to keep disputing, not us. Nah. We know that that's a violation, and there's nothing in the FCRA that says that they can just determine it's not you and just send this. They created this all on their own. How do I know this? From dealing with my consumer law attorneys and us just understanding the process and how many lawsuits they filed against them. And we got a lawsuit on this one going right now too, though. So for the same thing, after it was a victim of identity theft, they sent this. So do you think we kept disputing? No. Get to the lawsuit. Don't play with us like that. And the account has already been removed. They already agreed to move the account. Now we're talking about the money. But remember what our number one goal is to get the account removed. Let's go. Same thing. Let's say you send in a dispute, you don't get no response back. You tracked it, you seen it been there, 30 days go by, everything go by. A phone call is so beautiful because I want you to pick up that phone and make sure you got a recording device and make sure you test the recording device first. Because I've seen people thought they had a good call, but the recording device wasn't working. Sound crazy, but it happened. So test the recording device first. They'll say the craziest things on the phone when you ask them what they did. They'll be like, oh no, we don't dispute. We just send it over to the company. You need that on record. You need that recorded. Like, I'm hysterical thinking about how bad it is for them to say that. You know how many people have accepted that on the phone? Let you call them and they told you, oh, we don't dispute. We just send it over to them. When you go to the lawyer and you got that recording, they just going to be grinning from ear to ear. Like, we got them. So making sure if this happens to you, put in a recorded call. And if you got the bundle, it's in the how to dispute properly, what questions to ask them in detail and in sequence. What did you do? Who did you call? What steps did you take? What exactly did they give you? And then here's another thing too. The credit reporting agencies have to do their own investigation after they get a response back from the original creditor for the furnisher. So it's actually two investigations. Them saying that they just sent it over to the furnisher is not good enough because they're supposed to do their own investigation after those results come back. But now you know how to call them out. You just want to get them on the phone. And CFPB, I like the CFPB for collections usually. So if they close a CFPB complaint, I'll say persistence is in that equation. We're gonna get to the question section. We coming up on questions now. Give me 1 sec. Everybody got questions? Yeah, feel free to raise your hand. We're gonna definitely get to you. So remembering, like I showed you in the law, it got to be directly. So you don't want to really use the CFPB too much. You're talking about these original creditors or the credit reporting agencies. CFPB, we like that for the collection agencies because it puts them on blast at violations that we know they do. So they usually back off with that. So CFPB, you don't really have to. It's not required. It doesn't help you in the law, really. It just puts a fire under the collection agency usually. But the credit reporting agency and the furnishers will still try to play with you. So it's not required. But if they do close a CFPB complaint, you just refile like it didn't happen. Excuse me. Woo. We just went over the Star Technic letter. It's the same procedure. You can go right to the lawsuit. But if you want to sweeten it, pick up the phone and call them. You say, hey, did y'all get my letter? Like, oh, yeah, we got it. They might be, oh, yeah, but we didn't think it was you. It's like, all right, cool. Yeah, thanks for telling me that. But you need to get that on that recorded call for them to be able to lock themselves and back themselves in the corner, letting the courts know when that call is replayed, and it's usually transcribed from the lawyer, they're going to be telling on themselves. So that's why you just want to have a recorded call to let them have that proof against themselves. And this is my book, of course. It was in the bundle again. But also, there's an item too. Let's say something gets removed off your credit report. And I've heard people say, you know what? Then they put it back on. But them to put it back on your credit report, you know they're supposed to let you know 5 days prior. They can't just do it. So it just appeared on your credit report. Here's the law right here. If an item is reinserted, this is the law that they are under that requires them to make you aware they can't just reinsert something in your credit report because that's a violation. But how many times they just reinsert something, we go disputing and doing us stuff. It's like, hey, you didn't even let me know first. So remember, they play with you like that. We go into the lawsuit next because it's really cut bone and dry. So for a recap, we figured out where do we get our real credit reports from. Now we know how to spot the errors. And you're going to get the replay, so you can always go back and look at it once you get the replay. You know how to file your dispute letters, and you got sample dispute letters that just filled in for you, so it's plug and play. You know that you got to send it directly to the credit report name, so you know that's the best way to dispute. And you know what to do if they ignore you or send you a Star Technic letter. What do you do on your second round? Let's say you dispute it. You get the results of investigations back. They say verified. You know that you need denials for damages. So that's the first thing you want to do. Get your denials out the way. Get you maybe 2 or 3, boom. And you always want to make sure it's that credit reporting agency. Get your denials. And then don't rely on the results of the investigation. You need to pull a new credit report. Pull the new credit report and you compare it to the old credit report. You don't have to write a new letter because your letter is already written. All you're doing is removing what they fixed, or if they haven't fixed anything, then it's the same letter. Or you're adding, like in the TransUnion situation, where they removed the whole payment history, you now add that in the letter and say, look, the payment history was removed. This was now made more incomplete. That's what you're doing in your second round. When you dispute, you're going to have your new credit report that you've looked at and compared to the old credit report, circling the errors on the new credit report you pulled. And then you're going to go to your first letter and look at what was there that you disputed and see if it's still there. Then now you got the new letter that you just created and the second dispute with the credit report. Now you can do two things. You could either redispute, send it certified mail, or you can pick up the phone and do your glorious call and make sure it's recorded. And you want to ask them the detailed questions and tell them, hey, look, all right, now I want to redispute while we're on the phone. And I want to read my letter to you and tell you what specifically is wrong with each account. Don't allow them to tell you, oh, well, it's only a certain amount of characters in the box. We can't say all that. Or it's like, oh, well, you got to select one of these generic options, not mine, or account mistake. No, don't let them do that to you. Remember, that's the trap. But we want that recorded. So them trying to tell you that you can't tell them what the errors are and you limit it to characters and you limit it to selecting one of those generic responses is gold. We want that recorded. We want proof that they told you that those are your only options. Please let them say that on a recorded call. Yes, you want that. So that's what you're doing. Get on the phone, let them incriminate yourself, and you go along and you just go ahead and dispute it. You wait, you get your results back. Now, your third step, you can either go for your lawsuit or you can send what we have. And if you got that, how you dispute properly in the bundle, that letter is in there as well, the letter of intent to sue. A lot of times, counts get removed when we send that last third letter. They start to buckle up, removing things. So that has worked for a lot of people. So you can take that step if you want to. Or, like I said, you can go right to the sue process and you decide if you want to sue yourself or you want to find an attorney. Now, this is specifically for how you dispute. I do have a mentorship program where if you need to sue in a federal court, I'll help you draft that complaint and that process. It's a little bit more exhaustive. So, I can't talk about 6 different topics on a one topic training. So I assist you with all those other things if you want to go the more route, but then of course you would have to learn how to articulate yourself and actually learn what's going on. So I would teach you that and prepare you. So that's another option if you wanted to try to do yourself in a federal lawsuit. And so I know you're probably wondering, like, dang, Lauren, you know what? That sounded like a lot, and it sounded like time consuming. That's the part that you got me thrown off. It sounded good, Lawrence, but it just sounded like a lot. As you notice, in this process, you're putting the work in on the front end to not have to do it on the back end, because the back end looks like you sending 8 disputes. That's 8 months worth of work, if they even did it. But mind you are going to do 2 disputes, 3 max. So when you put that work in the front, that's all the work now is done. The bulk of the work is done already. All you doing is looking and watching for the errors. You might be putting in a call, but as far as the work, you done, and you don't have to worry about a bunch of continuous disputes, time going by. No, we don't got time for that. So what's the quickest way to implement? Of course, you can just leave here and do nothing. Be like, you know what? It sounded good. I ain't learned much. This guy sounds like all the rest of the people on the internet. That shit ain't going to help me. You could. Or, I've been doing this for close to 13 years. You can get with me and I can assist you and assure your success and give you all of the little things, because you can get information, but when questions arise, you're like, hey, who do I ask? How do I? Or, you might be the type of person that can listen to something and you hear it and you're like, what? I can go to work. Boom, I know what to do next. You might be that person. So you can either, go do nothing. You can try to get with me with assistance, or you can just do it on your own. Those are your options. You know what the fastest one is? My assistance. And here are some more reviews. People suing them, getting settlements. I always like to tell them to post my name when they get the result. And I like this guy right here, Reggie. If you see Reggie is suing for his clients, but he's getting $3,000 and $2,000 checks. So you're like, whoa, look at this guy over here, Reggie again. Another $3,000. He getting checks for his clients. So now, remember the title of the book was How to Dispute and Get Paid. Here's the get paid part. When you get these settlements and it results to dollars on top of the deletion. So I'm not just talking, these are people that have listened and gotten the results. So I do have an offer for you. Remember I said you can join me. I said you can get with me. You don't have to worry about being alone or any of that stuff. in my community, I'm going to show you all of this and assist you just like we did here, but way more in depth. It's not just a training you tune in. It's interactive. So you can stop me. We ask questions. We do all of that stuff. And then, of course, remember I showed you, I had a negative $1,000 bank account, a 550 credit score. I've been an American Express Black Card holder for the past 3 years now. I don't know many people teaching credit that got a Black Card. So that qualifies me as far as building a credit score. When I was a 550 with 22 items, now I'm walking around with American Express Black Card. So I know how to build you from absolutely nothing. And I'm going to teach you that and show you that process in our program. And then, of course, business funding. Remember I told you $1 million business? How did I fund that? I learned business funding to be able to fund that car dealership and be able to get anything I needed. So I can teach you that process. Come learn it to how you can turn that into a business. We just had a client, learned it, and it's actually in our referral program. They made $7,200 off their first client. So it's like, dang, I know people that put in 40 hours a whole month and don't make $7,200. So learning business funding is a real thing. Let me teach it to you as a skill to where now you could be working from your home in your pajamas. You might be like Shaq on interviews. You ever seen Shaq? He be in his boxers in the top part. That's going to be you at home. You're going to be all made up on the top, and the bottom you're going to be in your boxers, making way more money than people that go to work. Let me help you do that. And then remember I talked to you about the federal lawsuit process. How do you draft a complaint to serve someone in a federal court to where they call it pro se, where you represent yourself? That's a different process and a different understanding because there's procedures in place. So you got to learn that, but I'm going to teach it to you to make you the ultimate warrior. And then, of course, once I teach you how to make all this money and stuff, I want you to be able to have a trust account to where people can't just look you up, find out you got some money and sue you because your name is on everything. We want to teach you how to get the holding company, the LLC that buys things, and then the trust that's on top of the holding company that bought everything, and then for the tax advantages. Come on into the community, because once you start making all this money, you got to start living like the rich. They got trust, and then also, I've been building my own bank. Like right now, I could ask for credit from a bank, or I could borrow tax-free from myself for my life insurance policy. Either pay myself or not, and let the death benefit, it just be deducted when I die. So now I want to teach you the process, and it's not this IUL crap that you've been hearing about. It's not an IUL. I'm going to connect you with my financial advisor that has the Series 7 license, and understand that's the highest license you can get. Most people selling IULs don't have the highest license, so they are licensed to sell products, but not with the highest level of integrity. So that's why they're selling you IULs. They make the most money off of those. It has nothing to do with you making money. Those are risky. And coming to community, I'm going to get you with the top license to give you the best life insurance to build your own bank, not something that's hype that you've seen online. And then, of course, you get access to me twice a week. I do Zoom calls. You can ask me any question to get any assistance. And I have the private Facebook group. You can ask your questions day or night, 3 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the evening, get an answer from me before the Zoom calls if you can't make it, or after the Zoom call. So we give you all that access. And then I've written a couple of books. If you got the bundle, you got the How to Sue, you got the Credit Repair ebook. But I've also written some other books and guides, like how you set up your business properly for bank accounts, your virtual address, phone numbers, and all that stuff to make you presentable to the banks. I have that ebook, but all this stuff comes when you get in the mentorship. I give you access to all that stuff. So just some other little bonuses. And then remember, we talked about earlier, I made my first $1 million in my car dealership. So I want to teach you how to open a car dealership and fund it. And then how did I make my second set of 7 figures? In the real estate game. Let me show you how you can build new construction homes, how to find the land, what's a good property, what's a good area to sell it in, how you work the numbers to be able to know what your profit margins will be, how you go to the bank to get the loan, what documents you need, how to get the documents, that whole process to be able to build new construction homes, and you clocking 6 figures. I'm going to guide you exactly the way I do it, with everything you need to assist you with that. All of that is in my program. And today, if anybody knows, you go to the website, it's usually a $5,000 program. But today, what I'm offering for y'all is it for only $2,000 and less than $2,000. 1997. So what I'm going to do is I am going to drop that page into the chat. If anyone's interested, feel free to sign up. Come and join the best community in the world. And I promise we're going to show you how to leverage credit and build wealth. And then also, it's time for questions. So let me open it up for questions. I'm going to put this link inside of here in the chat. I'm going to open up for questions, and let's see what y'all got. Let's see what questions I can answer for y'all.
I'm sorry, I got a question. Do you want us to do it in the chat or say it out loud?
No, we're gonna do verbal. I'm opening it up.
Okay,
So
okay.
can do verbal. So if you just raise your hand, I'm just go in order to raise hands.
Gotcha. Well, man, you want me to go? I know man was raised. I don't know.
Hold on,
I see what Reese to the other person, but I just see the screen. I don't know who was first.
Yeah, let me drop this link for you real quick, and then we're gonna get right to it. Okay. Were you the first one?
I think I don't know. I had raised my hand a long time ago, and
she was first. She was before me.
Okay,
Leah.
I'm third. So she was first. I'm third.
Yeah,
I already dropped it. Okay, well, yeah. Anybody that's interested in that, if y'all want to come and team up with me, well, you don't have to worry about. Let's team up. And remember, credit repair is only the entry level to building wealth. I want to get you over that hump so we can actually start all of the wealth building tools that's actually out there. Like, let's get to the money. Like, the credit is slowing us up. So, come on. Let's go. Go ahead. You can unmute yourself. Was it Sai?
Yeah, Sai. Yeah, hold on.
Turn
my camera so you can see me. So I got two questions real fast. So I have an incident with the reinsertion, but I'm gonna ask this one first. So when I do dispute, I dispute exactly how you tell me to dispute. I go through and find an accuracy send it. They send it back verified. Now when they send it back verified, do I just go straight in to sue, or what do I do after that? Or can I just go ahead and sue?
Now, I remember what it sounded like you said that was your first dispute, right?
Yeah, that was the first one I sent in, and it came back, and they send the report back, verified.
And so now you move to your second dispute. Remember how we just talked about either pulling that new credit report, comparing the credit reports if they changed or fixed anything, and then now doing your new letter in comparison to the first. And you remember, you're gonna get the recording to this audio in your email. So when I talked about it at the end of the video, you could just go to that part in the video.
Okay, so we just gonna get the recording.
And then if you bought the bundle,
I did.
Oh, so that's in that ebook as well. The how to speak properly, what the second steps is too.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna look at that because I got that. I got the bundle. Okay, so the second question, insertion. So I did it exactly like how you said. They put it back on there. I actually called in, and the girl actually really did have identity theft. I did it under the 605B. It got deleted, but everybody tell me, like, even when I asked like a couple of my friends that's in the same field with Discover, it's Discover that I don't know if Discover just always do that, but they put it, I don't know who put it back on it, but it went back on a credit report. I called, I spoke to the fraud department, recorded it. The guy said, yeah, it had been over 30 days. I told him, like, hey, you didn't tell y'all to notify me 5 days, nothing. He was like, well, we sent another dispute out to get it verified. I said, if you can't verify it, then it needs to come off my credit report. And he was just like, well, that, they go through and they stall and they say all that other stuff. But I didn't record the conversation. Now, if that happens, yeah, that would have been a good conversation to record because me and him was going back and forth. But so since if I did record it, would I just take that recording and just go straight and sue?
Yeah, but then remember, it's not about the recording. You need that to sue. That's just a piece of evidence you got in your back pocket in the event you need it. So in this scenario, you could either redispute, like you said, with that, or like I say, if this was identity theft, you just go to the lawsuit, to the credit reporting agency.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So with that, there's no reason to keep going back and forth with that because what
I can do that myself. Huh?
Yeah, no, I would just say, if it were me, in that case, you got a real case. So let the big dogs handle it.
Okay. So
you could just sit back and be like, hey, look, I got this case. We disputed it. Identity theft. And then you made sure you got the police report, right?
I did the FTC. I didn't do a in-person police report. I did just hear you say that's a little stronger.
No, that's it. Like if you go talk to any lawyer, he gonna be a little hesitant if all you told him you sent in the FTC. But if you told him you sent the police report, he's like, oh, let's go.
Okay.
So that's why I'm here to make y'all aware of how you get to the next step, doing the stuff prior to when the next step comes. Like, all right, did that. Let's roll.
Okay, so get the police report, or
I
I can
would do
have
that.
her go file. It's a client, so I can have her file a police report, and then from there, just go find like I guess, a consumer law lawyer. Or can I
You
do that
first,
myself?
you got to dispute with the police report first. So
Okay.
after you get the police report, dispute with the police report, and then if they don't do it, then that's when you go ahead and go sue.
Okay, and then do I do it? Because I was just reading the bundle how you did it when you first did yours for the defamation of character and everything. So do I just go in and do small claims, or do I just go straight to a lawyer?
Yeah, those are two options. You could
Okay.
go into small claims and do defamation, or you could say, I want to go to a lawyer and let them handle it. Now, when you take that case to a lawyer, you're going to be on the more favorable side as far as the check, because that's usually where they excel at. Like, oh, yeah. So you just decide if you want to just do it yourself or you want to give it to the lawyer and maybe a chance of getting more money.
Yeah, I like learning more, so I would probably want to do it myself, and then if I like run into some bumps, then maybe go to a lawyer, because I'm definitely gonna try it, because it's still on her report. It's been on there for like 45 days now since I deleted it. So
That's what I would do for sure.
okay, appreciate it. Them are the only two questions. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, yeah, well, thank you. Leah Johnson.
Hi, how are you? I want to thank you first of all for really being so coherent and detailed and profound and all of your. I'm sorry I can't turn my camera on because I'm having trouble with
Got that bonnet on over there. It's okay.
it's not working. So I wouldn't disrespect you and not show my face, but please forgive that. I need to get it fixed. However, my question is this. So when you send that first dispute letter off, do you send the letters to all credit? I'm not going to say credit bureaus, credit agencies. I've learned, I was listening to the credit agencies all at the same time, or we do one by one?
Ain't no reason to delay. And you know, they individual. So you can send
Okay.
it out to them as soon as possible.
Send them all at the same time. And does it matter if there's charge off or lates, or what's the other one they put on there? Or no payments. Sometimes they put late, 30 days late, charge off, or write off, or something like that. It doesn't matter what reason it is, but we're finding all the errors that you just indicated.
Yep. More errors is possible because you see in that letter.
And just put them all in
your
here.
bundle.
Mm-hmm.
That is already detailed in there. So you just writing in there what was wrong with each account. So they got everything right there. So you never have to even argue about that. Look, here, go right here.
Okay, and then you said send a letter and wait for a receipt. Is that a return receipt, that little green card, and you wait to get it back? Is that how we determine if it's been 45 days or less?
No, if you do certified mailing, which a certified mailing is cheaper than a return receipt usually. So that's why I say certified mailing is good enough, because they're gonna give you that green card and it's gonna have the tracking on there. So what you do is track it after you send it to make sure it got there. So when it gets there, remember they got 3 to 5 days to process. So you want to count 30 days from then.
Oh, 35 days from the day that you mailed it with that card.
That you confirm that they received it.
Oh, the date that they received it. Oh, that's when the day counts.
Yes.
So that received card's going to come back to you, right?
If you send that, because remember, I'm just talking about regular certified mailing. You don't have to send a green card. But if you do send a green card, yes, it's going to come back to you.
Okay. All right. Thanks. That's what I need to know. I appreciate that.
Well, my pleasure.
I'm looking at, I didn't get your bundle. Do you have a link where I can get the bundle?
Yes, of course. It should be in your email or in a text message that you sent. But if it ain't, then you will get it after this call.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Maurice?
Sure. I want to echo what Leah said. You articulated the credit repair process better than anyone I've heard. Thank you. So I'm one of those ones. I'm on round 7, not through your efforts, and I've had some success, I must say.
Okay,
but I think I've hit a brick wall at this point with 3 nasty collections that just won't come off.
Did you get the bundle?
I'm getting the bundle today. I'm gonna go through the link and get the bundle. I just have one question as it pertains to Experian. I just pulled out my Experian actual report from Experian. I noticed that Experian does they actually do a code for the address of the creditor, as opposed to giving you the address, city, state. It's an address ID code. Yeah.
Yeah, you already know that is no bueno.
Okay, so yeah, all right. So that's something I'm going to dispute. But anyway, I'm going to get your bundle. I just want to say I've listened to a lot of people. I must admit, by far, the information that you've given has outpaced anyone, and I'm a skeptic when it comes to this. So keep it up. I am certainly going to join your academy or your. I'm going to join your inner circle, man. Just keep it up. Thank you. Excellent.
Pleasure. It would be lovely to have you. Invite you to the family.
Yes, sir. Thank you much.
My pleasure. Enjoy your night.
Yes.
iPhone. I hate iPhone. We're gonna give you a chance tonight. Who is that?
Yeah, thank you. I just got a few questions so what I've been told is that after 7 years, like a late payment is not supposed to show up. Is that considered inaccuracy? And also, like when you're pulling your TransUnion credit report in Experian, like where are you pulling them from? Like Experian.com, TransUnion.com, like where are you pulling those from? And lastly, just to echo off of something you said, because I just recently experienced some denies, and that was due to I was trying to dispute using EB, and I didn't know if this about the denial part at first, but now, so can I double back on my dispute and include that in there, or those was just my questions.
Okay, so the first question you asked about the late payments, right?
Yeah.
So late payments are not exclusive to just being late payment, because the law says negative accounts 7 years. So that's the category, negative account.
Yeah, no, if it's showing up negative from it, well, the thing is, it was a late payment one time, and the rest of the account is paid off completely satisfied, but it covers that 7 year mark, and it's still showing this one late payment from like 2017, which was only one time. And like you said, also, it was late 1 month and they automatically said late. So the next month we weren't late. So it didn't cover the two months like you spoke of.
So now you just gave yourself your answer. You know that, right?
I was thinking that. I just wanted to get a little clarification.
Okay. You heard what I heard then. Okay. So yeah, you already know what to do. You just learned how to call them out on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
then what was that second question?
What was the second question? About the EB, about I just experienced some denials, and I was stating like I had previously did some disputes saying that it was inaccurate information. So on my second round of disputes, should I include that in there, that being that this is inaccurate information, I was experiencing some denials, which is a violation, which is the correct violation of 16181 EB.
Now remember, when you in a court proceeding is when you have the conversation about EB, because you see when I pull up that case with the Cushman and TransUnion, that's where the courts are concerned when it's in the conversation of damages. But you only have the conversation of damages in the event of a lawsuit. So without a lawsuit, the damages conversation doesn't come up. But if the damages conversation comes up, then you must have took the correct steps prior by getting denials already. So when the damages conversation come up, you got what it takes to qualify you for damages in that area. Like in the event showed you in there, she couldn't qualify for damages because she didn't have any credit denials.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. I just recently was at a car dealership, and I got a high rate, and the guy actually told us, like, due to your credit not being the best, that you got to get the high credit rate.
I would
and
have him
plus,
put that in writing.
A bunch of dealerships was denying us also. So I was saying, based on what you the denials from the other dealerships, and the guy telling me about my credit being not the best, so I'm getting a high credit rate. Will that tie into being able to dispute with 1681 EB?
No, remember, 1681 EB is not a dispute. That's only if you're suing them. That's why I don't.
Okay.
That's why I was trying to distinguish. Remember, people use 1681 as a dispute. You aren't disputing anything with 1680B because the only way you can dispute 1681 is in the court proceeding where you're telling them, hey, this was published to the public and I'm seeking damages because they didn't have reasonable procedures in place to avoid this. So that's when you're talking to a judge. And then I'll take it a step backwards. If you say you've been disputing, but you haven't been disputing this way that I just talked about on the call, then you may not qualify for a lawsuit because what would you be defending?
Yeah, I understand that. So when you are disputing inaccurate information, what law are you actually using?
As you notice, as I stare in the call, it's not about laws. It's about knowing how to say how they violated the law. Because the law says it must be inaccurate. I mean, it must be accurate and complete. So in your letter, you're showing what's incomplete and what's inaccurate. That's the violation. And then you remember when I went to the law screen and I showed you what laws are in place? That's when you get to the point of actually suing them. But prior to, you don't need to go on a law tangent.
Okay. So when you initially dispute, you're just pointing out the inaccuracies. You're not worrying about stating a law.
Think about it. When the police pull you over, they tell you it's speeding. They don't tell you what the law was for speeding. They tell you how you violated the law. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't be like, oh, section 7 dish dash 111, put your hand. You're like, dog, what are you talking about? They be like, you were speeding. That's regular language that anybody can understand. So that's why I want people to get off of this consumer law stuff thinking you got to sound like that's like lawyers that go to law school don't even talk like that. I know that, right? So yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Is that all your questions?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, yes. Enjoy your night. I hope to see you on the other side.
All right. Thank you.
My pleasure. Charles, was it Brazil? Is he still with the?
Bro, I was wondering if you got an account that's like say like a truck loan, like 28 late payments on them. How would you go about it trying to get them late payments updated?
Me personally, I would just remove the whole account because late payments, you're gonna spend a lot of time trying to do those because if you grab the bundle, I got dispute methods in there that has worked. But to be honest with people, there's no go-to strategy for late payments, and no one will just be honest with people and say that. Because the reality is, what's inaccurate or incomplete about late payment, unless you can go to the credit report like I just did and be able to articulate, hey, 30 days haven't even passed yet. It's impossible to be 30 days in this month. When you can do that, then now you're spotting the incomplete or inaccurate. So if you got a scenario like that, go straight to the credit report and do that. But with 28 late, I would, for sake of time, I would just focus on removing the whole account.
Okay, then appreciate it, bro.
My pleasure.
And how much the bundle is too?
It's only $27.
Okay, yeah, I had joined late. I'm gonna jump on it, bro.
You should have an email or a text message, but after this call, you're gonna get one anyway.
Okay, appreciate it, bro.
All right, my pleasure. Who we got next?
Arturo, hey, how you doing? Thank you for your training. It was awesome.
You're doing great.
Hey, buddy. So if I have been disputing some accounts, been like probably 5 to 6 months on your bundle, should I just go ahead and start from the start,
If
or
it were me, I would.
Okay, you start fresh.
Yeah, that's what I would.
Okay, that's all. That's all the question I have.
Okay, perfect. Sweet.
Thank you.
Work. Was it? Let me try to pronounce this. Tashay Jackson. Tell me I'm right. Let me hear it. Are you there? Dang, you gonna tell me I don't get the reward of you telling me I pronounce your name right? Where you at? Going once? Going twice? I guess, was that the last one? Was anybody after Tasha? That's all I see.
Actually, I had remember well, part of my question I was asking, where do you pull these credit reports from? Like TransUnion, Experian, like where are you actually pulling them from? The actual website themselves?
Annualcreditreport.com. And then if you run into issues there, I would pick up the phone and then just call the credit reportings directly and have them mail it to you. So those are your two options.
Okay.
It's what is the specific FCRA section that deals with the CRA requiring to do 2 investigations for 1 dispute? I've never heard of anything like, oh, you talking about, no, it's not 2 investigations. You talking about when I said after the furnisher does an investigation, the credit reporting agents are supposed to do an investigation. Remember, the FCRA is talking about credit reporting agencies. So when you're talking about a reasonable investigation, when they get on the phone and say, oh, we just sent it over to the furnisher, where's their investigation process at? You see what I'm saying? It's like they clearly told you we sent it over to them. But if you read in the FCRA, it says CRAs, credit reporting agency. They are talking to them. So that's why you need to have that recorded call where you don't let them off the hook saying they just sent it over to the furnisher, where you're reading the FCRA that clearly says, hey, you got to do an investigation. So I hope that answers your question. Is there anybody else I can clear up some information?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hi, I don't have your course, but I have basically did a lot of things on my own, and I've been in and out through this webinar tonight. As you can hear my daughter calling me now, I had to put my phone down and run, so I missed some information. But a lot of the Jayla, shush. But a lot of the things that you said I've already kind of did like on my own. And I haven't did any letters because my credit is okay. But I haven't like disputed no lates. I really didn't have lates. When I got divorced, it kind of messed up my credit history when I was married. And I haven't been able to get it like to that 700 or mark since then. And I've been struggling with that. And I'm a truck driver, so I have like different LLCs, and I got the IUL, and I've been purchasing.
You blacked out if you're still there. You went silent, Keisha.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just came back in.
Okay, so what I was doing, like I got the IUL, and I've been paying on this thing for about 7 months. It's not structured right. I have a couple of LLCs that I had started doing, but then I've been getting like different parts from like you and some more people, like you say, when they give you a little bit of information, but they don't give you the truth of what you need to do. So basically I just started like strategizing myself and then just start challenging myself, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go to the source. So I would go to the bank and like, well, how can you assist me? I just got my LLC, and they was helping me to a certain extent. And so I have not established my business credit, but I have like everything lined up to do so. But then I'll get like stuck, like what to do next. But like I said, I got the IUL, and I started doing my personal credit. but then I'll get stuck and then I'll listen to somebody else. And then I guess it's me not being consistent because I'm a truck driver. So it's like, then I start, oh, I'm going to do this. And so now I find myself needing everything that you just said, because that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do my credit, personal and business, and throw everything into a trust and try to build that generational wealth for my kids and get a house and all that type of stuff.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to do you have like I know you said that you're going to offer we'll get an email or something so we can purchase your service. But how do you, once that's purchased, like, and if we get stuck, you said we'll have access to like one-on-one, because I'm more of like a hands-on. I can't, like, we're talking now, we have this big group chat or Zoom thing going. But I'm like, hey, I gotta see it. Like, you just gotta like, I need that one-on-one type stuff, in order to get it. But once you show it to me once, I'm golden.
Well, yeah. I hope the link is actually posted here in the chat. But if you see it, the Flu Credit sales page, you can go in there and get signed up to the community. Because as I was hearing you talk, I'm like, dang, shit, I created my course for people like her. So it was like, oh,
Yeah.
it'd be perfect for you. So yeah, you can click on that sales page link in there, and then we got Zooms twice a week. So Tuesdays and
Okay.
Thursdays, we get on Zoom, and like you see how you telling me your issue now, and I assist you on what your solutions should be. So that's twice a week, and then we got the private Facebook group too. So even if it ain't a Zoom day, you could post your question in there and then get an answer from me.
Oh, okay. I appreciate that. And I'm like the other gentleman. I be listening to a lot of people and, they just talk, but you have actually, you're the first I've heard to even say, hey, don't do the IUL, because that's what I had started shooting for. And I'm like, oh, I want to do this for me and my family. And it was like I have, like, it's like I was getting all the resources, and like I said, I started going to the source, and I'm like, I got a little bit from this person and a little bit from this person, but I'm still not getting it. I feel like I'm stuck. So then I started to like, I'm like, because like you say, they give you that little bit, and then it was like, oh, go get it done in Brad Street. I think I'm saying it correctly.
Yeah.
And when you get your LLC, you got to go do this and you do that, and then you go apply for this, but then they leave, like the important steps out. Like if you don't have, a tax number or the Dune and Bradstreet number, I mean, it's like you gotta seek for yourself. And that's what basically I've been doing. And it's like sometimes I get frustrated and I get stuck, and then I was like, I ain't gonna do it no more. But this, I just so happened to be looking at my phone, and I signed up for it, and I'm glad that I was able to attend, because now I feel like I can kind of move forward with the information that you given, the bits and parts that I have heard tonight. And I really appreciate you as well, for being like kind of like open and honest and like shooting past the bull crap, and it's like really up to whoever listens to take the information and do what's needed to do the proper way.
Definitely. Well, yeah, it's my
So,
pleasure. No, I hope to see you on the other side. You
oh,
people
you will.
that I really want to help.
Ain't no hoping. You will.
I'm gonna look out for you then.
You will, most definitely, because like I said, I did all the steps. I got I have a previous, like I had an old LLC from 2011. I reinstated that, and then I was like, well, and I just truly been getting led by God, because he was like, no, and I feel like sometimes some of my standstills is because what he's about to prepare me to go into, a lot of people can't go, because there's a lot of people that's smiling and like, oh, you drive trucks, and they already be looking at me sideways, because they be like, oh, you got a nice, you everything you got is nice. So I'm like, well, they don't know what I actually go through to get to this point. and I still got a few people that ain't supposed to be in my life. So I'm winging them out and keep on pushing.
Sound like a smart girl. I like the plan. I'm rooting for you for sure.
But I appreciate it.
Well, it's my pleasure. Enjoy your night. And that's why I said I'm gonna be looking out for Keisha.
You
Keisha,
I'm coming. And my name is Shawanda. I don't know why that's on my phone as Keisha, but I'm Shawanda.
yeah, I'm gonna call you the wrong name the whole time.
Yeah, it's good.
My bad.
I know who you're talking about because a lot of people say, your name's Keisha Johnson. I'm like, who is that? One of them.
Oh yeah, well yeah, that's why I say that's I like where you're headed. You know, everybody get to that rough patch in your life. We just need a little assistance. So I don't want you to feel like you're alone.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
My pleasure. All right, I would say enjoy your night, and I'll see you on the other side. Neil, are you here?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I had a question about I know you mentioned the late payment. You said might as well get the account removed. I had I had to close a bank account. It was on auto pay, and it was reported late one time. So, and it was about at the end of last year. So you're saying that it's better to get it removed because it's for a car payment, and everything is perfect except for that one payment. You still think that's
You could try to mess with that one because I said it's just only one. And then with that one, it would be the same way. Usually when it's 130 or something like that, you never really was 30 days late if it wasn't 2 months reporting. So now you know how to tackle that. You would be strictly on that. It's like, all right, if I made a payment this month, the following month, I can't be 30 days late. So make this make sense.
okay? All right, I got that makes sense.
Okay.
All right, I gotta get the bundle as well. All right.
Well, for sure. Link in there.
All right.
Is it Jake?
Hello.
Yeah.
So I got a quick question. You said what?
You got that big D voice. You made me raise man. Like, hello.
Quick question. So people who already got like credit repair business, got clients, like 100+ clients. Is this method right here something that I could just integrate with my clients that I have and just go and start suing? Or would I have to start over with their process? And the second question is, how long is the suing process?
First answer your question. If you've been disputing right, the only other alternative is to go sue. I wouldn't continue to waste my time. And that's why I say if you got a lot of clients like that, then you might want to come learn all the other stuff for the complaints in the federal suit and get connected with the lawyer system that we got across the nation. And that whole process, if you really talk about you got clients and stuff, you need the whole kit and caboodle. You don't need a small portion. You need the dinner and dessert.
Yeah.
So that's what I would recommend to you. And then you said, secondly, what was your second question?
How long is the suing process on average?
Usually from 2 months to 8 months, or 2 weeks to 8 weeks is what I've seen. 8 weeks is the longest we've seen them take to reply, and then 2 weeks is the soonest. So that's why I say 2 to 8 weeks.
Okay. And I'm just thinking about it. With a lot of clients I have, you saying your mentees, they getting paid from it too. So I could really make some money off suing for my clients, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, that was all I had.
Okay. All right. Yeah, my pleasure. Katrina, you said you heard 2K and 27, not sure. Of course, maybe the letters. No, the bundle is 27 and it got letters in there and the ebooks and everything. But then, everything I explained at the end with access, to me, the Zoom calls, making money in real estate, car insurance, business funding, the trust, life insurance, all of that grand stuff, access to me is the 2K course. And so, yeah, it was a link posted in here, and then you're going to get an email with the link and everything too after the call. Say, does this process change when trying to remove the whole account? Do you just challenge the accuracy of 28 payments or something else? No, the process don't change. You're going to go look at that account and you're going to do it just like in the video and just go look for everything that's either inaccurate or it's incomplete. And then you list it in your letter. So, yeah, no. I hope that answers your question. N5 laptop. He said, I found this just in time. I was going to sign up for credit repair tomorrow morning. So, so you are you taking the DIY route or are you coming behind the wall and to get some assistance? Kenya? I hope you ain't one of the people that's who's gonna go away and do nothing. Hope that ain't you ain't the third option. Said assistant. Okay, so I'm gonna see you behind the wall in the community then. I'm looking for Keisha. No, she said what she said her name was Kawana. I hope I'm getting it right. She going. We're gonna call her Keisha to now.
Shawanda.
Look. You still here?
Can I get one more question?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So another question about the suing process. So is this all like digital, or would the client have to be there in person, or would I have to be there in person when I'm suing for them, or how would that go?
It's usually electronic communication. So like you would file a lawsuit, they'll communicate either email or phone. And then that's when you have the settlement conversation. And it usually doesn't go past there.
Got you. Okay, perfect.
All right. What was that? Malcolm, you had another question?
Yes, my question would be when you remove an account, I guess because I've been hearing lately where people saying they can remove account off your credit report, but you still owe on that account. Can you explain or give me some insight on that?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and then it's funny that you brought that up. I'm glad you're a smart man. We also teach that process too in my program, how you sue the debt collectors and get them to wake. I don't know if anybody follow me on Instagram and Facebook. I just posted recent settlements, and it's all on my page. We also teach you the process suing the debt collectors of how we get them to waive the debt, delete it, and pay you. So I teach that in the mentorship as well.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, because I'm seeing that's starting to be the new latest crave in credit repair where they're saying that we can move this debt. Say you got a mortgage of 300,000, we can remove it now. I'm not saying that you don't owe, but it won't show up on your credit report.
Yeah, and that's usually a good thing for it not to show up on your credit report, but it's just the opportunity of another debt collector being able to purchase it and saying you owe them. So yeah, if it's a debt collector, then we usually try to trigger the violation to get it removed and get a check. We actually just closed another one today.
Okay. All right, great.
All right. Who was that? Malcolm again? Maurice?
Yeah, I had an additional question. I don't want to make the assumption, but you do have some insight also when it comes to removing collections also. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I even gave you all the letters and the process in that bundle.
Okay.
And we teach them how to sue them and everything in the mentorship. So if you want to go kid and caboodle, come, we'll show you how to turn debt into checks.
All right. Well, I'm getting the bundle as I mentioned. So, all right, just wanted to make sure.
Okay. Sure. iPhones, it's our beloved Keisha again. Or Kawana. Let me stop messing up her name. She gonna check me. Is that iPhone? Who we got? And then we got N5 laptop. How fast do the CRAs offer settlement? That's usually the first conversation, especially if the dispute is right. That's usually the first thing they talk to you about. Hey, what can we do to settle? So yeah, that's usually the first conversation you're gonna have. So that's what the beauty about a lawsuit. You bring them to the table and y'all had that conversation. But if it was some rinky dink stuff, or they feel like you can't articulate, then that's when they're gonna try you. Anna T, would your bundle help in regards to being sued and levies wage garnishments placed, or do I just have to settle with them, continue paying off the garnishment off, for she cannot afford direct mentorship? Well, I will say, no, this is tactics prior to the case, you being sued and garnished. So after the fact, no, unfortunately, it does not apply. So yes, but I do teach people what to do in typical lawsuits being sued. So yeah, if you were being sued before the garnishment, we probably could help there. But yeah, it seems like after the fact, it may not be helpful. Say, N5 laptop, do your collection errors work if the collection is collecting on behalf of the company? That's a great question. That's actually the first thing I tell you to do when you get a collection. Identify, is it someone collecting on behalf of the original creditor, or is it a debt collector claiming that they purchased the debt? So to answer your question is, if they collect on behalf of the company, I would go to the credit report and identify the errors that way. So that's how I hope to answer your question. And then money team, is that you with your iPhone raised? I guess you can come on. You can just unmute yourself and talk. You got your hand raised. I see it in the chat.
Yeah, yeah, I just wanted to know, I have like 2 accounts on my TransUnion, and I have 3 accounts on my Equifax. But my scores, my Experian is almost 800. Everything up there. I just got some charge-offs that I'm trying to get off. And I have an old account on my Equifax that's like 7, 8 years that I paid it off, right? And it's about 7, 8 years old. I'm trying to get that off. Once I do that, I'll be good to go. Because me and my partners, we in a green energy space. We just got a big contract with Tuskegee University where we putting up solar farms out there for them. And we also license and distributors for the EVs, for the fast chargers.
Okay.
Me and my partners, we really want to get some money, and we want to do our own thing. We trying to corner the market down south to put up, charging stations for the EVs out here, because there's really none out here. So we trying to corner the market from North Carolina. We got land in North Carolina. We got 2 parcels out there that we partner with somebody that buy land. So what we do, we partner with people, and also we trying to buy our own land and do our own thing, because it's a huge tax break. And also nobody like us is really in that green energy space. And we are. My partner, he's like, engineer and all that stuff. He got me into it. And we've been doing this over like a year and a half, but he's been in it like a few years now. So we really got some motion going on. We're doing 3 projects in Alabama, which is Tuskegee University. We're trying to attack all the HBCU schools. And also we're trying to bring programs in the green energy space. So I need my credit to be A1 so we can get this money, because there's so much money in this space, bro. When I mean there's so much money in this space, the contract.
It's like the other service. You just, from what I heard from you, it sounds like you ain't even trying to do it. You just need to get somebody to come in and do it for you so you can keep moving on.
That's it, brother. That's it.
That would sound like
my partner is too, man. But this is stopping us for getting big money, like huge money. I mean, we getting money off of doing our contracts, but we trying to do some stuff outside of that. By you being in the land space and doing real estate and all that stuff, you can help me navigate that part, or even maybe we can partner up, because like I said, we have so many relationships, and plus also we trying to get government contracts, and we not the ones that, and I'm using us, but the white folks, they try to get the $100 million contracts. We trying to get $10 million contracts. You know what I'm saying? Like we take the scraps, but the scraps still add up to 100 million, if you get what I'm saying.
Of course I do.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just what it is. Like I said, right now we got 3 big contracts that we're working on right now, and I'm trying to get my credit straight. My partner trying to get his real strong, so we can go in and attack this money, because they give big money for green energy companies.
Well, yeah, we actually got a done for you credit section. It's only $1,500 though. So if you want to, just reach out and we could talk about that specifically, or sound like a good person to be a part of the family. So I would love to see you on the other side of the paywall in the family.
Yeah, and also I want to get more into real estate too, because I also want to do a tiny home community out there in Virginia, and because I own a house out there too as well. But I want to do do a tiny home community for the people that's coming out of prison, and they don't have no place to go. They not trying to go back to where they from. They got like 2 buildings out there, hundreds of people that's in halfway houses, that they got manufacturing jobs. They got jobs out there, but they don't have no place to stay. So if I can do a tiny home community, it's easy money. You can easily make 6 figures a year off of that. And they gonna
You know, I'm
You
a
know,
two-time felon. A lot of people don't know. I guess I didn't get to that part, but I started getting in trouble early myself. So, you know, it's supposed to be tougher for guys like me, but I've been doing way better than the average person. So I'm like, let me teach this game to other people that think the system got them behind. Well, let me show you how to get ahead. So yeah, I love it.
yeah. So just let me know what I need to do, man. I mean, I can see my information, whatever. I just need to get these 5 accounts. So I got 2 on TransUnion, and they both of them are Upstart. I got an Upstart business account and an Upstart regular account, and then I got a
post my Instagram. That's why I say if you don't get in the community, then that's my Instagram. Just shoot me a direct message and let me know. Say what's your name?
Oh, they call me Mike, man. Money call me Money Mike.
Yeah, just tell me. Say, I'm Money Mike from the car. I was talking to you about the green energy and all, and then I take it from there.
Where your Instagram at? You say?
Oh dang, it went to that private message. Let me see everyone. Wow, there we go. Yeah,
Okay, I got you. I got you.
Mess me get you all the way together.
Yeah, man. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna definitely hit you up, man. I'm really trying to get this knocked out so I can move forward and do what I got to do. I'm pretty sure you're easily find what easy way to get it off. You know what I mean? So you can fight this thing, get it off, whatever. I do what I got to do.
Yes, sir.
You know?
Let's do it.
I appreciate it, bro.
Pleasure. Peace. Let's see. iPhone. Who is this? You ready? Guess I might need to know your name. You probably don't know I'm talking to you. I'm just saying iPhone. Do you put all your evidence to speak?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was on earlier, but I just wanted to clarify. So for the late payment, if it's only one late payment, like how am I actually challenging them on that?
You simply just understanding that you couldn't have been 30 days late the following month. So that's you understand that, right?
Yeah.
So that's just like me coming to you and I'm like, hey, how do I tie my shoes? And you look down at my shoes and you see them tied. It's like, hey, you know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I just wanted to clarify that because sometimes I overthink things, and I just gotta ask the same question 10 times.
Now we get to the root of the issue. But no, yeah, don't overthink it. You got it.
Okay, thank you. Oh, wait, one more question. So, do you ever use the BBB when you do any disputing?
No. It's worked before, but I learned these companies don't really be scared of that, really. But it's a tactic that someone could try. I wouldn't tell nobody that it's not worth a try.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
My pleasure. Say, reading this question, say, do you put all your evidence disputes notice when you send to the intent to sue to the credit bureau? Okay. No, you don't have to worry about evidence. It's a regular dispute, regular letter. Just listen to accounts. Chronologically detail what transpired in previous disputes. No, they know that already. Your letter, intent to sue, is like, hey, the letter is set up already. So you just basically plugging in the accounts and information. So no, you don't have to worry about what they call presentments, no exhibits, i.e. the evidence. Latarsha Browder, you got your hand raised? K Lucas, the bundle will be available to you. Don't worry. Hey, okay, yeah, you're gonna get a link in your email, K Lucas, and you can click on it when you get ready. Don't worry, you ain't gonna miss out on the bundle.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you got the floor, Latarsha.
Okay, thank you. I was gonna ask you, okay, so I've been calling the credit bureau, like I'm their stalker, trying to get stuff on my credit. So I had called and it was one thing that I was trying to get off because I knew, you know what I'm saying, it was fraud. So I'm telling them like all the stuff that I found on my credit report, like I'm constantly telling them, like, hey, these folks don't know who I am. So what do I need to do to get it off. And they was like, oh, you need a letter of deletion. Well, how can I get a letter of deletion if the people don't know who I am? So one of them, I told them, like, I record all my calls, so I already got that on file. But I told them, like, who I talked to with one of the companies. I gave them a name. It was like one of them was in collections, and then the other ones was hard inquiries. So the one on collections, I told the guy at the credit bureau, I said, well, this is who I talked to, and this is what they said. So they sent me a letter with an affidavit, and they want me to fill it out. But how I'm supposed to fill that out if I don't? They don't have no recollection of me.
So it's simple. If you say you're a victim of identity theft, I don't know if you missed that part about identity theft. The recording is going to come to you after the call. I would zoom right to that part of talking about identity theft. But to answer your question, that affidavit is basically what they need. It's an internal, basically an FTC report affidavit, just same thing for identity theft. If you fill out and send that back, that's usually the answer. But worst case scenario, I would have got a police report listing the 4 things: the account name, the account number, the account balance, and when it was open. Those 4 things should be in a police report, and that should handle identity theft.
Okay, but it's another one that's it's closed. It say closed, but they don't have no recollection of who I am. And I'm telling the people, like, this is what's going on, but it's like they
Paperwork.
like
Paperwork. If you got that police report, you send it to the credit report agencies, you send it to that company, they choose not to do nothing, then now you move into the lawsuit stance. I would find a lawyer that's going to be able to get you a nice ass check.
okay. I sure will do that. I appreciate that.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Have a good night. Say thank you so much for the information. I work with a few credit repair companies for almost 10 years and still got garnished, so I've been apprehensive having more companies help me. I definitely understand, Anna, but you realize you only got 2 options in this example. You either figure it out yourself, which is usually tough, or you got to trust somebody, but you just got to know how to evaluate who to trust. That's usually the hardest part, evaluating who to trust. So you really look for concrete evidence of proof that's outside of you and the individual that qualifies them, i.e., like me showing you the court cases with the information that I'm teaching you, showing exactly where I got it from. So you don't have to go and say, this guy told me. You can say, hey, look, this is where I got it from. So valid sources that's outside of you and the individual. That's my advice. N5 laptop, you say for business credit, does a high business utilization 70% prevent you from getting more business credit, even if you got all on-time payments? It just depends. No, usually most business credit cards is utilized. So usually no, but I noticed lately some companies are checking the business report. So my answer would be it would just depend on the company, but generally no. Then you say, LC, I have good credit. However, my debt to ratio is horrible. Is there any way you could help me? I would just say, good credit. I would try Lightstream, or I actually got a soft pull company that'll give you a loan. So those would be my 2 options. Just seeing if that loan options work, try to consolidate the debt. And, that should usually help the score. And then you can maneuver to try to maybe get business funding so you could push that debt to the business side and then keep your personal pretty where you can always maneuver. So, yeah, and then these are tactics and strategies and to help things I teach in my community. So I hope I see you on the other side. Yeah. Come up here. Yeah, unmute your mic. Come on. LC. No problem, N5 laptop. It's my pleasure. That's what I'm here for.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So my credit is pretty decent. I don't have any late or anything like that. However, like I said, my debt to ratio is horrible. I've been turned down. I'm trying to get like a box truck business started or whatnot. But could you say what you said earlier? And again, because I was trying to maneuver on my phone. But yeah, man, like I said, my credit is good. I can't get to the next level without getting a box truck, to make more money and stuff. So
Yes.
the consolidation people want me to go late on like a few accounts for like 90 days and stuff, which I've never been late. Man, that's just so discouraging,
Yeah, I'll never recommend recommend debt consolidation by because of that, what you just stated. You actually got to let
Yeah.
the negative first. So it just doesn't make sense. So, like I said, Lightstream is a loan company that usually go out and give those loans. And then I have a soft pull company that you can qualify for and see if they would give you a loan. But that would be probably the only two options outside of the obvious one, more income to be able to pay more to the accounts.
Right. Because I've already been turned down by them. It's that bad. But like I said, I've never been late, never missed a payment. But
here's one thing too, though.
Okay.
If you know somebody you trust that's around you, get them approved for a business credit card and put the debt on that business credit card. And then once your credit is good, you get approved for a business credit card and then let them put the debt back on your business credit card, if that makes sense.
Kind of confusing, but
Well, I'm your friend. I got good credit. I get approved for a business credit card. I swipe it and liquidate the cash and send the money to your credit card company. So now your credit is paid up and the debt is on now your friend business credit card. Now, once your credit is clean, you can get approved for a business credit card. And so now you're going to liquidate the cash that you owe your friend, send it back to them. So now their card going to be paid in full. And now your card is going to have the balance on there that they were carrying for you.
okay, is that something like if I were to sign up for the program we can go into detail with or no?
Of course, I'm here for your assistance. So
Okay,
that's the main part. Like all of the strategies and assistance, that's why I'm making myself available for you. Because it's like somebody could tell you something on one training, but you always have questions. So that's why I'm opening the door for all of your questions and the assistance.
Right. Because I do have a guy I'm working with, and it's just like, man, we hit this stumble in the road with this debt to ratio stuff, and he was offering me the debt consolidation programs, and I'm like,
And here's the
kind of
best
new
thing about that.
Yeah.
When you get behind the wall, you just got a new job because I have 3 ways where people can start making income immediately when they join my program. You can refer business customers over for business funding. We split the profits 50-50. You can refer anybody over to join a program. You get a 20% commission. Or you could market credit repair as your own service, put whatever you want on top of our fee, and you don't have to do the credit repair. You get paid instantly, and we do all the work. So you could do that immediately and start making money in my program. I should have said that earlier. More people are on the call.
Yeah, that's nice. Is that the one for the 1900, right?
Yeah. In 1997. Yep.
You never said, do you take payments or anything like that, or you just want the whole thing up front?
You say, for this call and training, it's just that one discount because we usually charge 5,000, so it's like you're getting better in a 50% deal. So it's like, hey, do you want this? You better jump on it now before it go away. But I would check my email in the upcoming days too. So we might be running a program or not. So I would stay close to my email and see what we sent to you.
Right on, brother. I appreciate it. Well, man, I appreciate everything. Thank you.
My pleasure. Enjoy your night.
Can you repeat what you said real quick? You said you ain't got to do credit repair. We can send them to you. You said something like that?
Yep. So basically, you marketing credit repair. We give you our flat rate, and you put whatever you want on top of it, and you just send them over. So it's like you doing credit repair, but you just making the money without doing the work.
Okay, cool. Bet.
So yeah. How many inquiries should we do before a lawsuit? Inquiries or disputes? I'll say 2 to 3. You do your 2 that you know is mandatory, and then that third one is just if you want to send an intent to sue letter to give them a chance to get the removals or not. So I'll say 2, 3 max.
And then how do you even start a lawsuit? Like if you had like the gentleman said earlier, if you actually have well, I don't have a business, but if you have credit clients, how would you start a lawsuit for them?
For them is, if they're a male, then of course you would do it like it's you because you behind a wall. It's just a male on the phone. So your name and your age doesn't really matter. You're just a male. So that's all they expect from talking to a male. So that's how you would do that for them. And then you either can do it for them, or if you're setting the evidence right, you could easily have a lawyer that you partner with. So I would recommend most people to just start looking for lawyers now that understand this, and you can partner with them. So you just shifting the clients right to them once it's ready for a lawsuit, and they're gonna love you. So yeah, that's what I would do. Or that's
no. I was saying like what paperwork do you look for? Like, where do you have to go to start a lawsuit?
So you didn't get the bundle.
No.
How do I know that? Because all that's in there. Yeah, you go to the clerk.
Actually, I'm driving right now, so I really ain't have time to look into the links and stuff. But I'm gonna definitely look in when I get home. I'm gonna definitely get into them.
Oh yeah. So basically, if you're doing it yourself, you either doing small claims or federal. See, if you don't know the federal process, how to draft a complaint, then you will be going to small claims for simple ease. You don't have to worry about submitting supporting documents or any of that stuff. You just state what your reason is, pay the fee, and let them send it off in certified mail. And then that my house suit process has everything in steps in that book. So it's telling you when you send a letter off, how you need to fill out the court paperwork, what to do when they respond to you, all of that in sequence. So yeah, to answer your question, you start the lawsuit by going out to the courthouse, and if you're doing it yourself, you're just going to be in small claim. You ask for the paperwork to sue somebody in small claims, and that's that simple. And you fill out the paperwork with questions that they're asking you.
Okay, simplified.
Yes, sir. All right, is that it? Is that everybody? I hope to see a lot of you behind the walls. This community, you thought this training was something. We just touched on one topic. I can go for hours on other topics that I really love, that really makes you a lot of money. So yeah, if you thought this was something, come on, let's be part of the family. I'm gonna hold your hand and take you every place I've been, and where I'm going, you can come with me. So yeah, it's my pleasure. If that's all we have tonight, stay by your email for any correspondence we have for you. And I hope this gives you guys great success, and I hope you learned something tonight. It was my pleasure, and you guys enjoy yourself, and I'll see you soon. Peace.